morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Cruising with Ghostwriter, man. You know what I'm saying? You guys, y'all follow the content, man. I was going to try to do the live stream, you know what I'm saying, outdoors, you know, weather permitting. But unfortunately, it's windy and it's rainy out here in the Hudson Valley. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at, out here in New York, man. You know what I'm saying? So we just gonna hop in the car. I think this is like episode, number 64 or 65 of Cruising with Ghostwriter. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna try to get to 100 episodes. And then once I got to 100 episodes, then I was gonna start the Tax the Rich tour. So guys, this morning, as y'all come in, guys, if you like the video, I ask that you'll double tap the screen for your boy. Got to get my wardrobe in function. I ask that y'all double tap the screen for me, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. This morning, we're going to talk a little domestic politics. You know what I'm saying? I know there's a war over there in Iran. I'll say Guys, it's a raging war over there in Iran. And I know that we're dealing with that primarily, you know what I'm saying? Or that's something that all of us as Americans are worried about, you know what I'm saying, due to like gas prices, due to the stock market, due to our economy, due to Americans dying in that conflict. That conflict is something that all of us are worried about. We're focused on. The United States has been involved in military conflicts, but the United States hasn't actually, I would say, you know what I'm saying, begun a new war against a new opponent in a long time. So that being said, we're going to start off, like I said, with domestic politics, guys. If y'all hadn't liked the video, go ahead, double tap the screen for me, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. So I'm going to start off talking about AOC. If we look at the 2026 midterms, there is an election this year. I've said this before. I've went over this content before, and I'll say it again. The Democrats have done really, really well in the special elections. If I'm not mistaken, it was like the Democrats have flipped 26 seats, and the Republicans haven't flipped none. This is politics as usual in America. We have a two-party system, right? So we can expect what we call the pendulum to swing back to the left, or we can expect the electric or the American voters, you see what I'm saying, to run over I would say probably the people in the center to run back to the Democratic Party, or if the Republican Party, the party in power, isn't doing that good. Usually, typically, history tells us that the other party, you know what I'm saying, the Democrats, are gonna pick up seats. So that's what we're looking at. Looking forward, though, and what I'm going to do today, I'm going to look forward to the midterm elections. Well, excuse me, to the presidential elections coming up on the Democratic side in 2028. And that's where we're going to start. Okay, guys, listen. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. The American electorate, they want change. They want something different. Guys, if y'all listen to the live stream yesterday, I played audio from Candace Owens. I've heard this from Tucker Carlson. Guys, I've heard this from Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is questioning President Trump and his decision with this war. All of his supporters are. Not all of them, but a lot of his supporters who have a platform and who have a voice, they're questioning it. You see what I'm saying? And I think that is very, very important to understand why the voters want change. When they got Barack Obama, listen, as a child, as a black man, or I'll say a black young man at that time, growing up in Biloxi, Mississippi, man, you see what I'm saying? I was told by my black mother, my black, you know what I'm saying, other members in the community, white people too, that we'll never have a black president. Oh boy, you'll never have a black president. This is a white man's world. But I'm saying what people who thought that they could believe or trust in politics and they voted for President Trump, what they're finding out is that things don't change regardless of who you voted for. So the American electorate wanted change. They wanted a difference in politics after a war in the Middle East. So they voted for President Obama in 2008. And I think ever since 2008, when President Obama won that election, ever since that, I think the American electorate has constantly voted for a candidate that they thought would be different and that they thought would bring a change to DC, because we all know that DC needs to change, man. Things ain't right, man. We all know that in our politics. So we're going to give the Republicans a chance. President Obama, we voted for him. He didn't do a bad job. You see what I'm saying? But the status quo remains the same. So we're going to give the Republicans a chance. You know, it was between Hillary and Donald Trump. Hillary was a woman. That would have been changed. The first time ever, that would have been different. She won the popular vote. You see what I'm saying? But what ends up happening is the people vote for President Trump. And like I played the audio from Candace Owens yesterday, just to let you guys know, guys, that it hasn't changed. I said all of that to say this. When we come to 2028 and that pendulum swings back to the left, I think there is a humongous opportunity for the progressives. I think it is, for several different reasons, several different factors. People call President Trump an authoritarian, okay? And they say that, you know what I'm saying, we see in the world, I should say, the world seems like it's moving towards authoritarian type or socialist type government. That's what it looks like is happening. You know what I'm saying? So I think in this election, for the first time ever, I think the progressives will really have a chance. I told you about change. I think if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, if she comes out with a message of change, if she has the right message, this girl pulls crowds. I'm talking about, listen, if AOC, if she goes over to Los Angeles and does a rally today, she'll get 20,000 people there. Y'all tell me where I'm wrong at least 20,000. She could do that across the country. She has a following. She has a fan base. And the difference between AOC and Bernie Sanders is AOC is a female. So she'll get a certain type of vote, I believe, that Bernie Sanders didn't get. And AOC is a Latina. So I think that she'll plug in with Black voters and Hispanic voters, which are key. And then on top of all of that, she has a progressive message, and her progressive message is it resonates with Black voters. So guys, y'all might not see this, y'all might not believe this, but I really believe in 2028, that pendulum is going to swing. We know it's already swinging to the left. By 28, we don't know how. It depends, I think, on how President Trump's administration does. But I'm saying it might swing all the way over to the left and give an opportunity for the progressives for the first time ever. We saw Bernie Sanders when he ran in 2016. He got really close with Hillary Clinton. And he got close again with Joe Biden in 2020. You see what I'm saying? But I don't think the climate was there, number one. And number two, the establishment has been blocking the progressives from day one. Now, y'all might say, hey, Ghost, you tripping on that, Ghost. We following you so far, everything you said, and that sounds about right. But you saying that the progressives have been blocked by the establishment? Where's your proof for that? Guys, I'm finna play you audio right now. And in this audio, you will hear a news report on how the Democratic Party, the establishment, particularly in this article or on this MSNBC's Hayes, and it was posted by the New York Post, he calls it the old guard. But I'm going to play you an audio right now. Nancy Pelosi blocking AOC, Nancy Pelosi, and the establishment blocking the progressives. Let me play this audio for you real quick.
And he did so thanks in part to former Speaker Nancy Pelosi whipping votes for him. Now, again, to her credit, enormous credit, Pelosi did choose to step aside and relinquish her job as House Minority Leader to a new generation of leadership. She also played an enormous role in the successful effort to push Joe Biden to step aside this summer, which was very hard to do and I think the right thing to do. But now Pelosi whipped votes to make sure that Connolly got the oversight job over the young star in the party, even as the 84-year-old Pelosi is recovering from hip surgery after suffering a fall. It feels like a moment of genuine.
So, guys, if y'all didn't hear that, Connolly got the oversight job over AOC. And Nancy Pelosi saw to that. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, that Nancy Pelosi has been blocking AOC, blocking Bernie Sanders. You think you're too progressive. It's just like what happened with Jasmine, what we've seen happen in Texas recently. They'll just look at Jasmine and say, oh, we don't think that she could win the race. We don't think she could win the statewide race, so the establishment will block her. You see what I'm saying? I think it's something to say about allowing the voters. Look, if you have a politician, Connolly, okay, if he goes to Los Angeles and he does that same rally that AOC does, it'll be 200 people there. AOC goes there, it'll be 20,000 people there. So I'm saying, why would you want to block a politician in whom the voters want or the voters will vote for? And that's what the Democrats have been facing with Nancy Pelosi, not just Nancy Pelosi, the rest of the establishment. So I'm trying to tell you guys, with Nancy Pelosi retiring, AOC is pretty much the most popular Democrat in Congress. Y'all let me know who is a more popular Democrat than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She is like her and Bernie Sanders. And you know, Bernie Sanders is at the age where he's getting close to retirement. And I'm saying with AOC being a Latina, a woman, I think that helps her a lot in the Democratic Party. Guys, if y'all just start with me and y'all listen to Ghost for just a second, what I'm trying to tell y'all and emphasize to you guys. If you look at the candidates that's running, you look at Pete Buttigieg. I'm saying Pete Buttigieg is about an establishment Democrat. He's about a middle-of-the-road Democrat. Josh Shapiro, he's a centrist. I think he would make a great president. I think he would be like a Bill Clinton type. But I'm saying the voters, that's like he's a regular Democrat. They're going to look at him establishment. VP Harris. They'll probably look at her as an establishment Democrat, same politics as usual. And then Gavin Newsom, even Governor Newsom. And I say Governor Newsom is pretty progressive with his politics, but I think the Democrats are going to make a mistake in 2028 because they're going to try to present another version of a painted up candidate, a candidate who's painted up, who's made up, who's propped up, and who's establishment. And that's not what the voters want. I know this for a fact. Whether America has moved to the left far enough for a progressive to come win or for a progressive to govern is yet to be seen. We see in certain areas in America, Democratic blue cities like New York City with Mandami. You know what I'm saying? But you say, Ghost, America is not New York. America is much more conservative than New York, and you are correct. But what I'm trying to tell you is that one thing for certain and two things for sure, with the election of Donald Trump and the election of Barack Obama, two candidates who are polar opposites, who a large portion of the American people voted for both of them. That lets you know one thing. That lets you know that the American voters want change. I believe AOC represents that change with the right message. With AOC, that she's not politics as usual, guys. She's not. Point blank, period. Whether you believe in progressiveness, whether you believe, she's not politics as usual. And that's what the voters are looking for. So if she comes out in 28 with a message of hope and listen, I think AOC too, listen, out of all the candidates on the stage, let's say you got 16 candidates and they running for president. I'm not sure AOC, she don't run for president or the Senate, but say you got 16 candidates on the Democratic side in 2028, you're going to have a whole lot of them. Say they running for president. We got the top 5 names. We got AOC, we got Pete Buttigieg in the polling. AOC, Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, VP Harris, and Josh Shapiro, top 5 in the polling, okay, on the Democratic side. Every 5, who's the most popular out of those 5 candidates with the voters? I don't think that Governor Newsom could draw a crowd as big as AOC. You guys aren't thinking about this. Which one of them candidates are going to draw a crowd as big as AOC? Which of them got or have more followers Listen, I think with her too, you could get a explosion of young voters that's running to the polls to vote for the first time. It's the policies that she's got, futuristic policies, guys. I think that the Progressive Party or progressiveness, I really believe it's the future of America. That's what I believe. I believe that in my whole heart. Guys, AOC for Senate or president, what I really believe, she has a real chance of pulling off what Bernie Sanders was so close to pulling off. And what President Trump did with MAGA, I believe that AOC could start a real legitimate movement, guys. I really do.
JFK.
Let me play this audio for you guys.
AOC? Could Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez actually be the next president of the United States? Let's find out in this week's edition of Whole Hog Politics. I'm Bill Salmon, joined by my old pal Chris Steyerwalt, who writes Whole Hog Politics for The Hill each week. Chris, this week you wrote that AOC is, quote, looking formidable in her party. And you further wrote, quote, the way AOC would win the Democratic nomination would not look so different from the way a New York radical on the other side, Donald Trump, succeeded with Republicans in 2016.
Can y'all hear that? This The Hill, okay? In case you guys want to, it's The Hill. It was published like 8 months ago. Does AOC have a chance? How AOC could mirror Trump's success in 2016. And I'll continue playing the audio in just a second, but I just want to tell you guys, you heard what he said, just like what President Trump did. And what he said, this is his word, a New York radical on the other side, just like what President Trump did in 2016, I believe AOC could do that in 2028. I really believe that. With my whole heart, man. For the Democrats who say that you guys want a woman as a president, I believe she can overcome a lot of things. I think she's the strongest Democrat that you guys have. I really believe that. And guys, the reason why I'm doing this live stream, if Nancy Pelosi were remaining in Congress, Nancy Pelosi has so many connections. She's been there for 40 years. She's so powerful. She's been the Speaker of the House so many times, the minority leader in Congress so many times for the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? Nancy Pelosi's real powerful. And I played y'all audio, the very first audio I played, how Nancy Pelosi actually blocked AOC from a leadership committee. So you know if she's still in Congress and in 2028 comes AOC running for president, you know that Nancy Pelosi will let any one of them other candidates get there before that she would AOC. I don't know if she's jealous of AOC, or I don't know if she really believes that AOC is too far left. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is America is moving in that direction. A lot of things, and I'm going to play some audio for you in a second, AOC in her own words. A lot of things you guys hear her say, it sounds like socialism. And that's what we heard before, that she was socialist or she's too progressive. I want to wake y'all up. Y'all wake up, shake you and wake you up, guys. I'm trying to tell you, America, we know the electorate has moved to the left. Just in 2028, how far to the left? Y'all think it can't be done? Like you thought America wouldn't elect a black man, but they tired of politics as usual. So, like you thought that Donald Trump didn't have a chance. Listen, be honest, President Trump himself didn't think he was going to win that election. But the American people were tired and are still tired of politics as usual. For those people who really don't engage in politics and said that they were going to get out there and they were going to support President Trump, like Nick Fuentes, some famous ones with a lot of followers and listeners, and Candace Owens. You see what I'm saying? They're highly disappointed. The Epstein files, President Trump and Kash Patel and all them, oh yeah, release the Epstein files. They get empowered, business as usual. They act like every other Republican administration before that. That's not as much against President Trump and against Kash Patel. The voters do not understand that the American president can only do so much. The voters think he has a lot more power than he really has. They don't understand that. President Trump's not going to come out and explain that. No president is. But I'm trying to tell you what's going on. That's what the problem is. And so the voters don't understand that. President Trump, they thought he was different. He wasn't going to go out there and start wars. He got in the White House and he did what every other single president, Republican, did before him. George Bush 2, George Bush 1, and even Ronald Reagan moving the same way. You see what I'm saying? With Barack Obama, they said we're going to give a black man a chance. I'm not saying Barack Obama did a bad job in comparison to the other presidents, but it's like, what are the expectations of the American people? They want things to change. It's like the American voters, they want a revolution in American politics without picking up no guns. How can we do this? We only got two parties. We go to the left, we go to the right. If we go to the left, we go to the right, and we getting the same thing basically on both sides, just with a little twist. You see what I'm saying? So let's try something different. Let's try a black man. Let's try something different. Let's try a man who didn't have nothing to do with politics, completely businessman. He gonna come in here, just do things his own way. And I'm saying first term, maybe so. That's why he voted. They enough of it till they voted for him again. Second term Trump, though, not so much. He looks a lot like the other Republicans that served before him. And I'm saying that's an opening. You might not see it. I'm a strategist. That is a opening for a candidate. And if you look at the records of the Democrats, I'm not hating on Josh Shapiro. I said I think he would be a great president. I think he's polling in the top five. He's in the top 5 in polling. All of these people I'm finna name on the Democratic side. These top 5, one of these 5, I predict is going to win the nomination in 2028 for the Democrats. You got Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? He's a centrist. I think he would be a great presidential candidate for the Democrats. I think he'd be a great president like Bill Clinton. He's over 50. I think he might be 60% in Pennsylvania, his approval rating. And you know, Pennsylvania is the purplest of purple states. It's the biggest prize for the left or the right in the presidential election. So you think you got Pennsylvania, purple state, you got a governor. To get to 60%, that means you got to have Republicans, independents, and Democrats supporting you. You got Trump supporters supporting him. So the Democrats will look at Josh Shapiro and say he would be an excellent candidate, but what would the voters say? The voters might look at him like it's business as usual. The same thing with Governor Newsom. I think he's the lead. Out of all the candidates, he's leading right now. The same thing with VP Harris. They look at establishment, business as usual. Pete Buttigieg, same thing, man, establishment, business. Out of all of those candidates, AOC represents change the most. I don't see how I'm litigating the case as best as I can. She represents change the most. She has the largest following. I think, if I'm not mistaken, over 13 million followers on Twitter. If I'm not mistaken, Twitter, TikTok, she has the largest following. She draws the largest crowds, and she can raise a whole lot of money. You see what I'm saying? And America, we know, is moving to the left. How far left, we don't know. But I just believe a lot of AOC's financial policies are the policies of the future. You guys call it socialism. I don't call it socialism, excuse me. Guys, the price of gasoline, have y'all noticed in y'all community up here in the upper Hudson Valley? Like, I noticed the price of gas is still going up. I saw yesterday how I think a barrel of oil was like $80-something, but it was less than $100. It was less than it was a couple of days ago, but the price of gas still going up. That's the same thing in the grocery store. Oh, they had a freeze out in Texas and a freeze out in the Midwest. So we gotta raise the price of bologna. And I'm saying, when the freeze is over, in order for you to control those prices, you gotta regulate that. Republicans are completely against that. They think it's socialism. Government putting their hands in the free markets. You see what I'm saying? So I believe, and then with AI coming, Look at the unemployment rate. We could have that argument between Democrat and Republican, but I don't think that argument is inappropriate right now. The argument we should have should be between Democrat and Democrat. You see what I'm saying? So out of the Democrats that will be running in 2028, AOC, she represents change the best. I think she could start a movement. If she come out railing against the system, she has a record of progressivism, which people would call far left or radical, but that's what you would call MAGA and President Trump, right? Far right and radical. Even though he wasn't in politics, all these people who running on the Democratic side is in politics. Who's the one that's not most like the establishment? AOC. I think that's the reason, that's the one the voters gonna want. That's why she draws those large crowds. You know how popular Governor Newsom is? He's very popular. He's very well known. But I'm telling you, if you put Governor Newsom down in Florida and you put AOC, you bring AOC, bro, you could bring AOC out right now as a congresswoman from the Bronx, from a borough in New York. I'm talking about she not even a statewide politician in New York. She got a borough. You could bring a congresswoman out, I'm telling you, to Florida. And you could bring any one of them Democratic candidates to Florida. AOC gonna go down there, and when she do that event, it's gonna be like you booked an artist. Real talk. I'm talking about she'll get a 20,000 people in the amphitheater down in South Florida. She can do that. Which other Democratic candidate could do that? That's organic. That's natural. Just like on YouTube, once you monetize your channel, they want everything to be organic and natural. You see what I'm saying? There's a quality to organic and natural. I think the reason why our politics are like they are is because people like Nancy Pelosi, she picking the candidates on the Democratic side who finna run. So all the candidates gonna be about the same. The Democrats about the same. All of them about the same. They saying Bill Clinton, Al Gore, yeah, they about the same. They about the same as Jimmy Carter or Barack Obama. They all about the same. That's why people gave President Obama a chance. But people say about the same. You see what I'm saying? AOC is a big difference. You have first woman, you have first Latina president. You see what I'm saying? And then her policies.
Elaborate. What do you mean by that?
Well, if you have a plurality, right? If you have a chunk of your party that's with you, you can swing that wrecking ball. Bernie Sanders nearly did it, right? And I think his success was wildly overrated. I think the 2016 Democratic nominating process was a lot more about what was wrong with Hillary Clinton than what was right with Bernie Sanders. But in 2020, you saw it kind of happen, right? You had a bunch of folks fighting to be normie Democrats, and you had Bernie Sanders. If it hadn't been for Elizabeth Warren, you can see a story that if the two of them were not splitting up the hardcore progressive vote, I can tell you a story about how Bernie Sanders wins. Yeah, it was South Carolina for Biden. Yeah, it was a lot. We know that story. But I think you also can say Bernie Sanders alone maybe beats Joe Biden if he doesn't have to contend with Elizabeth Warren.
Right.
And I think that makes a lot of sense, bro. You see what I'm saying? That makes a whole lot of sense. That progressive or that side of the party on the left, man. I think for a long time, and we've had this conversation, or people who know, we've had this discussion or had this thought process where it's like, just like the Republican Party, like President Trump, let's look at his coalition. He put libertarians together, you know what I'm saying, the Elons and the J.D. Vances and the, you know what I'm saying, who that is, Ron Paul, you know, you can't forget him, Thomas Massey, libertarians. He took the MAGA coalition. You got MAGA coalition like, I want to say Marjorie Taylor Greene, but she gone. You know what I'm saying? Think about some people in President Trump's cabinet. I don't know them all that good, but you know what I'm saying? You got the MAGA coalition. Then you got the established Republicans like Marco Rubio. You see what I'm saying? President Trump, he had a lot of younger voters with Charlie Kirk and them. You know what I'm saying? They turned out younger voters. The tech bro, the tech crowd, Joe Rogan. He had a coalition. Well, I'm saying on the Democratic side, it's the same thing. Far left. You guys know this. AOC, the progressives, and then you have, but we could look at some polls within the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party within itself is moved to the left. So I'm saying if the electric is going to move to the left and it's going to move to the Democrats, all the Democrats got to do is nominate the most popular candidate, or don't try to block the most popular candidate. Guys, I'm trying to tell y'all, I believe she will be formidable, just like Bernie Sanders was in 2016. And just like Bernie Sanders was in 2020. But I think the difference with AOC is because she is a female and because she is a Latina, I think that can benefit her within the Democratic primary. What you guys think? I think that definitely will benefit her. Let me finish playing some more audio.
Maybe beats Joe Biden if he doesn't have to contend with Elizabeth Warren.
Right.
And AOC is in a very similar position. The Democratic presidential field is taking shape. Who's her rival? Who is the person that appeals to young progressives in that way? Ruben Gallego could have been going that direction, but he's moderated, right? In order to win a Senate seat in Arizona and also sort of find the place where the broader American electorate is, Ruben Gallego has moderated. He's worked with Republicans on things. He's tried to demonstrate that he's played up the fact he's a veteran, he's a normal person.
Ruben Gallego, I can't even say his name right. I'm saying this guy knows who he is, but do you guys know who he is? I have no idea who that is. And you're trying to compete with AOC. I mean, hey, that's what the point I was making with Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico. Jasmine was more well known, but this is a completely different situation with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Completely different. You know what I'm saying? You talking about presidential politics. Texas is a big state, but it's still one state. You're talking about all 50 states. All 50 states, name recognition. It's some power players in this game. Gavin Newsom, like I said, he real famous. VP Harris, she is too. Pete Buttigieg is well known, especially within the Democratic Party. But I'm talking about AOC could do, we saw with James Tallarico. I'm saying, look at all the people who appeal to a younger progressive crowd movement. Those are the ones who are fired up to go vote. They fired up. And if President Trump stay on the path of going to war with these different nations, I think they'll be fired up even more so. And I think the overall American electorate, without the young voters, are going to be looking for change. The American people are not going to want an establishment candidate. I promise y'all that. And I think that's the Democrats too in the Democratic primary. All we got to do is don't get no interference from no power players trying to block her. And I'm telling you, the American people are not going to want an establishment candidate. I think the party who puts the Obama forward, a black man representing change, or puts forward a Trump, who is an outsider businessman, okay? I think AOC has a lane being a woman. She has the popularity. And if she has a message that represents change and addresses the problems the American people are feeling, with the pendulum swinging back to the left, I believe she really has a chance to win, bro. Listening to her speak, she has a chance to do in 2028 in America what Mandami did in New York. And the reason why I believe that, you know what I'm saying? I believe that because she's got the winning message. I believe the message, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, has everything, a lot to do. It has everything to do with taxing the rich, with helping the poor, with helping the middle class and create jobs for the American people. You see what I'm saying? Let's listen to some audio. AOC speaking, man.
Capitalism at its core, what we're talking about when we talk about that is the absolute pursuit of profit at all human, environmental, and social cost. And what we're also discussing.
Do you guys agree with that? Y'all agree with that? Good morning, Pure Joy. You guys come in, y'all please double tap the screen for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Do y'all agree with that? Do y'all believe capitalism is like a violent pursuit of wealth at all costs? Cost against humans, cost against the environment, cost against everything. Do you guys agree with that? I'm saying after we've watched in the history of our country, I believe that there's no one who can't say that that's true. Even the Republicans and the ones who support capitalism. You know what I'm saying? Let's finish listening to it.
Environmental and social cost. And what we're also discussing is the ability for a very small group of actual capitalists, and that is people who have so much money that their money makes money and they don't have to work.
Look, that what she's saying right now is going to resonate with the American people. You think about Ghost being a Christian who is against transgenders, a Christian who is against gay people getting married. You see what I'm saying? I have like my morality. I'm a social conservative. But to be able to find a voice and a progressive like AOC is because of what she's saying on economics. That fundamental, I believe we can have that argument on transgenders. I don't believe no Democratic president, Congress, any of that will be able to get any laws passed that won't get challenged in a conservative Supreme Court. So I feel on the back end, I feel that my backside, I feel on the back end, I'm protected as far as a Democrat actually being able to enact. And that's an argument that I have that no one on her side will have. That I could have with independents, that I could have with conservatives, that if you guys want to change, y'all want something different, what she's talking about is different. It's not something she's saying that the progressives have not been saying forever. I'm talking about since Jesse Jackson, rest in peace, Jesse Jackson. That's Bernie Sanders bringing that same message that Jesse Jackson brought. And when the Democrats were dead and they needed revival, it took AOC and Bernie Sanders to revive them because that is a winning message with the Democrats. That's a winning message with the Republicans. Guys, I did a tax the rich live stream. I showed you how the majority of Americans believe in rich people paying more money in taxes. You see what I'm saying? So, guys, what she's saying in her own words, it ain't nothing but 60 seconds. This time, I'm going to let it play all the way through, and then we're going to discuss.
To me, capitalism at its core, what we're talking about when we talk about that is the absolute pursuit of profit at all human, environmental, and social cost. And what we're also discussing is the ability for a very small group of actual capitalists, and that is people who have so much money that their money makes money and they don't have to work. And they can control industry, they can control our energy sources, they can control our labor, they can control massive markets that they dictate and can capture governments, and they can essentially have power over.
Man, I gave a lot of predictions in my lifetime. A lot of correct predictions, guys. I'm telling you, that is a winning message in American politics. What she's saying is why the American people voted for Barack Obama. Because what she's saying about the corporate control, basically, corporate slavery, what she's saying about a few people having control of the entire system, the American people, they know that, they sick of it, they tired of it. How can we make a change, a revolution with no guns, no weapons? Oh, we gonna try this black man out. He ain't like the other ones. Maybe he gonna do something different. He talking hope and change. Did that work? That didn't work. Not what they were looking for. You still got the same small group of families in control. You got politics as usual, just a black man doing it. Okay, so we're going to try Donald Trump. When he first came in, this is a guy who ain't got nothing to do with politics. He a businessman. He ain't never held a political position, and we're going to make him president of the United States. That's unbelievable. That's how sick, 2 terms. That's how sick the American people of politics as usual. You guys don't believe me? Listen to this. This right here, what I'm finna tell you is very profound. You get the Democrats, they put in an establishment Democrat. I think we all could say Joe Biden was establishment Democrat. I think from President Trump's actions from January the 6th, the American people were freaking out and they were saying, hey, listen, we tried this guy and he wasn't a politician. COVID came, January 6th came. So, hey, we got to get from under him. We're going back to the establishment. They put establishment Democrat, establishment Republican. It don't matter. It's about the same. Same coin, 2 different sides. Same bird, just 2 different wings. So you know what the American people said? They said they're going to go back to President Trump over Joe Biden. You could blame that on Joe Biden's age. You put Kamala Harris in there. You could blame it on her being a woman. You could blame it on whatever you want to blame it on. I'm trying to tell you, the people are tired of the same old business as usual in American politics. They're tired of fighting useless and senseless wars. They're tired. So I'm saying you have you got 5 candidates. You got Gavin Newsom. You got Pete Buttigieg, you got Josh Shapiro, and you got Kamala Harris. And all 4 of those candidates, when the American people look at them, do they look at them as being any different than Joe Biden or Nancy Pelosi? That's the question. Think about that. You want to differentiate yourself because the politics might not be good to say that you're going to tax the. I'm telling you, that girl could do a movement. She could start a movement just like Donald Trump did, the exact same thing. And if she, with that base that she has, her base, we know she has a base of support that is more than any other candidate. I believe that's going to be in this presidential field. Because if you look at on the Republican side, if you look at Marco Rubio or J.D. Vance, that's just a continuation of establishment politics. Libertarian establishment or regular Republican establishment. That's just the continuation of business as usual. I think AOC is going to be the best candidate in that entire field that represents change, that represents something different. That's what she represents. I mean, what she's talking about and what she lives and walks. Listen, if she just walked in the room for the first time, like Donald Trump, she was never in politics. This is the advantage that she has. Forget progressivism, forget socialism, forget all of that. If she just walks in the room for the first time and she was never in politics and you heard her speak, this is what just the words, this is what the American people want to hear. That's fundamental. Whether she could change it or not, that's a different question. You don't know that. I don't know that. The American people didn't know Barack Obama could change the system. The American people thought that Donald Trump would come in and change the system. They're going to give somebody who talking different, they're going to give them a chance. So what I'm saying is, listen to me now. I'm going to play this audio one more time, and I'm going to interrupt as she's talking to make the points one more time.
To me, capitalism at its core, what we're talking about when we talk about that,
is that true or not?
Absolute pursuit of profit.
Don't look at it from your party perspective. Look at it from a truth perspective. Is what she's saying true or not true?
all human, environmental, and social cost. And what we're also discussing is the ability for a very small group of actual capitalists, and that is people who have so much money that their money makes money and they don't have to work. And they can control industry, they can control our energy sources, they can control our labor, they can control massive markets that they dictate and can capture governments, and they can essentially have power over.
No, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, that right there, in my opinion, is a winning message. What she has to do is build a coalition. President Trump built a coalition. He built MAGA. You see what I'm saying? The message that she has, her entire platform. Listen, what I was telling y'all about, if she was an outsider saying that, that's one thing. But the thing is, the girl been in politics for 8 years, 8 years over. She been that congresswoman. She been in politics for so long, and she been believing and standing on what she's saying for day one. Authentic. Very authentic. And I'm telling y'all, I really believe that this girl, she has the best chance in that party if she decides to run for president and not Senate. I'm saying this girl, I mean this woman. You know what I'm saying? Guys, listen, I want to look at a poll real quick. I want to give y'all a poll real quick, and I want to show you percentage of Democratic Party that identifies as progressive. Percentage of the Democratic Party that identifies as progressive. So 12 to 17% of primary voters, a larger growing plurality of the Democratic Party, roughly 54 to 59% identifies as politically liberal. The progressive wing, though, represents a smaller, distinct, younger, and highly educated subset of that liberal group. Okay? This is an AI overview, Gallup, and 4 other sources. That's the sources. So they're saying over half the Democrats, 54 to 59%, identify as progressives or as liberal. And progressives are a smaller, distinct, younger, and highly educated subset of the liberal group. What I'm saying, if the progressives could take over that 54 to 59% of that liberal group, then they win. That's the numbers. That's what President Trump did. I would say it's probably similar in the Republican Party. And I say, what was President Trump? Y'all think of the Tea Party, y'all think of MAGA, you know what I'm saying? The Republican Party was just moving further and further to the hard right. And I think MAGA represents a smaller, distinct subset of the conservative group of Republicans. Would you agree with that? Well, that smaller, distinct subset took over the conservative group. And now MAGA basically is the Republican Party now. I think that AOC can do the exact same thing with the Democratic Party. We see Mandami, we see progressives all over America doing good in the elections, 2028. Regardless if AOC decides to run for president, I think if you speak about her running for Senate in the state of New York, I think she's almost a shoo-in. As a presidential candidate, she's formidable. I see a pathway to victory for her. And I can't see her becoming the 48th president of the United States. I can't see AOC becoming the first female president of the United States. Maybe this is the time. I think this is the best time. This is as good a time for a progressive as any to try to attempt to become president. Good a time as a progressive as any is right now. You see what I'm saying? I think the whole world is moving towards policies. It's crazy. Because President Trump is a Republican and AOC is a Democrat, and there are differences, but it's like populist. I'm saying there are differences in what they believe, But what I'm saying is like how they saying President Trump, authoritarian. Some people would say terrorist is sort of like socialist type. You know what I'm saying? The government setting and picking and choosing winners and controlling. I'm telling you, America, the world is moving in that direction. AI come, unemployment 15%. You're going to have a politician who understands how to allow the businesses, the money makers to make money and to be able to enact policies to take care of the people who, and I think AOC represents the future. Let me get down here in the comments with y'all. Someone says they're all terrible candidates. Well, if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, you're going to think any Democrat's a terrible candidate. But those 5 Democrats that I named, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, Josh Shapiro, Kamala Harris, and Gavin Newsom, they polling in the top 5. So if you got to pick a Democratic candidate for 2028, I think it'll be one of those 5. For the Republicans, I'll say Ron DeSantis. I'll say Nikki Haley, Marco Rubio, JD Vance, and give me some time. I'll get you the 5th one. But one of those 5 will be the Republican nominee on the Republican side. So if you a Republican, you're going to say that all of those are terrible candidates. And if you're a Democrat, you're going to say the Republicans are terrible candidates. And the reason I picked that comment to read first, because I'm going to say this, it don't matter what the Democrats and Republicans say, the independents are 45% of the American electorate. That only leaves 55%, which is a majority of the voters. But I'm saying they're split between the Republicans and Democrats. Republicans and Democrats are splitting 55% of the electorate, and the independents are 45%. I am a big independent. I have been my whole life. There's Republicans I like, there's Republican policies that I support, and there's Democrats that I like, and there's Democratic policies that I support. However, I believe that you have a small group of people who are controlling everything in America. They're controlling all of our politics. Those small group of people, I believe, do not pay enough tax. A large group of rich Americans do not pay enough taxes. I believe if you start taxing those people, those families that are controlling everything, if you tax them, I believe that, in my opinion, not only are you get more money, it's like you get more control. And to me, it's like you setting a standard. And I think that's important. And another thing, out of those 10 candidates, y'all might say they're all terrible candidates, but out of those 10 candidates I named, AOC is the one that's different from all of them. She's the one that's different, her policies. And I think the American people want to hear something different. No, she didn't fall on her face on foreign policy. Listen, so AOC, she got invited overseas, okay? And let's look up. I'm going to just look AOC foreign policy, and I'm going to play audio for y'all, okay? I heard y'all say that, but no, she didn't. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, her foreign policy is important, but listen, let me say something. I want to address this real quick. Foreign policy is important. It is real important. But let me tell you one thing for certain and 2 things for sure. The American voters are not going to vote on what President Trump did in Maduro. They're not going to vote on the first Iran strike, Midnight Operation Midnight Hammer. They're not going to vote on the Ukraine-Russian war. All that stuff President Trump is doing overseas, the voters are not voting on that. Not the American voters. I'm saying 20% of the American people voted on immigration. The vast majority of the American people, how a president will win in 2028 is going to be the economy, stupid. Like James Carville said, it has not changed since he first said that. It's all about the economy and the economic message. Who has a better economic message in 2028 than AOC? You saw what Bernie Sanders did in 2016, 12 years ago. That's an older candidate. AOC's a Latina. She's got the same kind of crowd he gets. She's a female, younger version. That's what I'm saying. So 12 years later, we see how the world's changing, regardless if they're conservative or if they're Democrat. We see how the world's changing. If you can't see it, I don't know how the world is moving towards a socialist or authoritarian. Y'all say President Trump is authoritarian. I'm telling you. So if you have a president that come in, they want to be authoritarian on like crack down on immigration or authoritarian or on going to start wars with Iran. That's what y'all was talking about, foreign policy. But I'm saying, y'all saying AOC is an authoritarian. What if she was President Trump spending $1 billion a day in Iran? You know AOC won't do that. What if AOC spent $1 billion a day on feeding homeless people? I'm saying, you're saying she wouldn't be able to get the authorization to do that, just like President Trump, he needed the authorization to go to war, huh? But let's just say if she ran a policy, she out there campaigning, and she's saying President Trump spending $1 billion a day on the war, I'm gonna spend $1 billion a day on feeding homeless people, on curing the homeless problem. I'm going to spend $1 billion a day on giving small business owners, people who start a business, a $50,000 tax break. I'm going to spend $1 billion a day on giving someone who wants to buy a first-time homeowner $25,000 to buy that home. I'm going to spend $1 billion a day. See, if you start talking, that's how AOC, she going to come out talking like that. Do you what Mandami did? Listen, she a perfect candidate because the progressives' message is mainly a message of economics. Tell me where I'm wrong. I'm trying to get y'all there now. I'm going to go a little bit over an hour. A progressive's message, their primary message. If I ask you what a progressive believes in, you're going to start telling me what a Democrat believes in. Oh, they believe in transgender rights. Oh, they believe in gay marriage. Okay, yeah, that's Democrats and progressives. They're the same. When we start talking about financial things, financial issues, you hear a lot of Democrats, they use establishment Democrats are using the progressive message. But to try to stand on that message, because AOC, you heard her, she gonna come out. Y'all want to talk about foreign policy. Yeah, she might not be strong on foreign policy with the American people, but that's not what they're going to vote on. The American people, they might have a concern about that war being ended with Russia and Ukraine, but they're not going to vote on it. We going to vote on a war being, that don't got nothing to do with us. Ain't no bullet from over there finna hit on us. We finna vote on that over what's going on up here in New York City, or what's going on in St. Louis, Missouri, or what's going on in Los Angeles, California. See, I might not have called your city, but you more concerned with what's going on in Los Angeles, St. Louis, and New York than you are what's going on in Russia or Ukraine. You more concerned with what's going on in Minneapolis than what you concerned with what's going on in Iran. You see what I'm saying? Listen, foreign policy could hurt you. Not you saying not being knowledgeable about it, so she not knowledgeable about it, excuse me. But I'm saying it according to y'all. But if she decided to run for president, you see what I'm saying? I'm sure she gonna learn and study up on it, or she's gonna get more solid positions. I'm saying she's sort of a novice in foreign policy. All of them, what Democratic candidate is gonna come out for? Democrats aren't really known to be strong on foreign policy anyway. Number one. And number two, I'm saying like, come on, man. Pete Buttigieg, he gonna be strong on foreign policy as a mayor of. I'm saying VP Harris gonna be as far as the Democrats, VP Harris got the leg up on the field. Gavin Newsom, well, he a mayor. He a governor. Excuse me. He might know a little bit more than. And Josh Shapiro, he a governor, so he might have had more experience, a little bit more experience with foreign leaders. But I'm saying like AOC, listen, the majority of the people that's going to come out and show up and vote for her are probably going to be first time, low propensity vote. I'm talking about in the primary. Because I'm saying when she go to Iowa, she going to have every young progressive Democrat at the poll. When she go to South Carolina, she going to have every young progressive Democrat at the poll. Democrats going to be split. I think VP Harris would do really good in South Carolina. I think Josh Shapiro will do really well in Iowa. But I'm saying AOC, she's that progressive. If she run that campaign like Bernie Sanders, I'm sure he gonna be helping her, and he gonna know the mistakes that was made from when he first ran it in that primary. You see what I'm saying? Super Tuesday come, I'm saying you're gonna see AOC. She gonna be out there with crowds, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100,000 people. Yeah, we already seen it. The Fighting Oligarchy tour. So you saying that, she ain't good on foreign policy. She beat J.D. Vance in the poll. Head to head, she got higher numbers than J.D. did in the poll. I think and those are with you polling traditional voters. A lot of voters who, you're going to have a lot of 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25-year-olds vote. I think you put AOC on that ticket, it's going to look like it did in 2008 with Barack Obama. You're going to, I'm talking about all people that never voted, they're going to come out and vote for her because what she's talking about. Guys, I'm going to have to play audio of AOC. Let me play audio. Before I do AOC on foreign policy, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do, let's see. Hold up, let me just play this for you real quick.
Would and should
AOC,
the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
I think that this is such a, I think that this is of course a very long-standing policy of the United States. And I think what we are hoping for is that we want to make sure that we never get to that point. And we want to make sure that we are moving in all of our economic research and our global positions to avoid any such confrontation. And for that question to
what's wrong with that? I'm saying you get a Republican or JD and he respond to that, what he gonna say? What Josh Shapiro gonna say? What Pete Buttigieg gonna say? Ron DeSantis said he probably gonna say we gonna nuke him. I'm saying her saying that I'm gonna take the steps. That's what Ronald Reagan did with the USSR. That's what I've been trying to say. You can have a politician who they know what they're doing. They can avoid that conflict. It'll never happen. And that's all she said. We just gonna try to take the step. First, she said it's a long-standing policy. This she doing this at Munich, right? She doing this before. You see what I'm saying? The President Trump did the Iran war. She said it's a long-standing policy of the United States to get involved in these conflicts, which is facts, and that's true. I'm saying her as the president. And you still gonna have the same CIA that's there with President Trump, the same military, the same generals and everything. I believe you. The question is, does she have the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding to be able to do the job? And I think the American people will definitely say that she does. To me, that was the correct answer. She's not a warmonger. What Democrat is, what progressive is, that's not important to American people. What American voter is a warmonger? Oh, there are some. There's some that want President Trump to go harder in Iran, but that's not the majority. That's what y'all got to focus on, the majority of the voters. For her to be able to become the Democratic nominee, that's something completely different. Execution. That's like with Jasmine Crockett, the actual execution is different than the plan. I can't help you execute the plan if I don't have hands on. The way AOC does it is I can't tell you about what kind of, I'm saying if she hired me today and I work for her today, what President Trump did with MAGA, I'm going to try to do with her. She could do it. Look at the Fighting Oligarchy tour. How many people showed up in Los Angeles on the Fighting Oligarchy tour? This was something I want to show y'all. Well, the influence that this girl, not only in her party, I'm talking about the influence she has in America. How many people at Fighting Oligarchy in LA? How many people showed up?
Does anybody think it makes sense that we have a campaign finance system where one man, Musk, can put $270 million to get Trump elected, and then his reward is that he becomes the most powerful person in government?
Listen, just that message. That's a message of change. That's what I'm saying. With the other politicians, it's like they're like, they sound like politicians as usual. The reason why Bernie Sanders is so popular, the reason why AOC is so popular, I'm saying the regular, everyday going to work establishment, their establishment is change. That's what they represent. They're Bernie Sanders don't have to come out and say America's jacked up, America's on the wrong path like President Trump did. All he has to do is come out and say what he's saying right now, because that's what he's saying pretty much. Things ain't right.
That is not democracy. That is oligarchy. Does anybody?
I'm saying they've been saying that. Listen, they've been saying that from day one. That's the progressive message. That's why they got crowds like that. How many people showed up to Fighting Oligarchy in LA? An estimated 36,000. The event was sixth stop of his tour and was described as one of the largest rallies of the tour. One of the largest. 36,000 plus. You see what I'm saying? That's why all them people showing up. Because that message resonates with the voters. I could keep playing. Y'all want to talk about, what she sound like on foreign policy, but I'm saying, listen, I heard President Trump saying tax the rich. I'm saying she came in the game saying that. And the people know that. They know her. How many followers AOC got on social media? How many followers? God, let's be real. Since day one, that girl, y'all didn't know who she was since day one. How many followers AOC has on social media? $13 million followers on Twitters. 600,000 followers on Twitch. They ain't telling us the rest of them. But I'm telling you, the most popular Democrat, man, easily. When you combine all her platforms, she's got 25 million followers on social media. Instagram, 9.7 million on her personal account. 2.7 million on her official account. But they follow her personal account. Her official account, she got 753 million, but on her personal account, she got 13 million followers on Twitter. Facebook, 1.8 million followers. On TikTok, 20 million likes. her follower count in the low millions. Twitch, 600,000 followers. Ain't no other politician is that popular. Look, I want to show you how many followers President Trump got on social media. Watch some. How many followers? Let's see. Who we gonna ask? How many followers President Trump got on social media? Hold on a second, guys. And you talking about, listen, when you talk about President Trump has been in the spotlight for decades. He might not be a president for that long, but he been in the spotlight for decades. She talking about less than a decade with her, and she just a politician, and he got, let's see, put them all together. 200 million. That's how many President Trump had. Let's look at Barack Obama. Because what I'm saying, guys, I'm judging the popularity. Social media don't mean nothing. I'm just trying to show you guys something. 130 to 135 million. And you talking about President Trump, he do a rally, he gonna get 20,000 people. He wanted to. President Obama too. He wanted to. That's what I'm saying. But if you look at the other candidates in this race, how many followers does Gavin Newsom have in social media? How many followers? He a governor of California now. She just represent the Bronx. Just one district in Congress. He got 9.8 million followers. So she got almost 3 times the followers. These are her rivals. He the closest one to her now. Because we look up Josh Shapiro, I ain't even trying to do that. Or Pete Buttigieg, they might have a million or less followers on social media. He the closest one to her now. The most popular, VP Harris. She probably got about the same or less than Gavin. Let's look at VP Harris. I can't do my girl Kamala like that. Because Kamala's still my girl. I'm just saying what I see coming down the pipeline. And we'll do the Republicans as well. But I wanted to start with the Democrats, though, and with AOC. And when we do the Republicans, I'll probably do J.D. Vance. Kamala, on all her platforms together, and she was a vice president, she's got 45 million. So she's got more than AOC by 20 million more. You see what I'm saying? So Kamala is the more well-known, but let's look at the polls. And I know this is way early, too early to really count. Let's look at the polling for Democrats 2028. Let's look at some polling. All right. Let's see. This is OregonLive.com. Top Democrat 2028 presidential polling. Let's see. Come on now. Here we go. Let's see whose poll this is. I'm trying to see who poll this was. Let's read it and then we'll find out. All right. The top spot amongst potential Democratic contenders belongs to former Vice President Kamala Harris, according to the Daily Mail JL Partners poll released on Monday. When is this? Is dated March the 10th. So March 10th, according to the Daily Mail, VP Harris, who has the most followers on social media, meaning that she's the most well-known out the Democrats. Look, Gavin Newsom is doing really good in this poll. He gets a lot of press and gets a lot of coverage. What I'm saying is, what happens when Gavin Newsom steps out of politics like VP Harris till 2028 for at least a year? I'm saying in January 2027, Governor Newsom is not going to be, he's the former governor of California. That's what I'm saying. But VP Harris, she has 23%, 19% for Newsom, Pete Buttigieg at 10%, AOC at 7%. That's the top four they have. AOC at 7%. I think she in the right spot. These the voters, these pollers, the people they're asking in the poll are probably they're likely Democratic voters. They're voters who voted Democrat before. I'm saying AOC is going to pull in like what President Obama did, what President Trump did. She's going to pull in a lot of new voters. She's going to energize a lot of new voters with that message, man. I want to play AOC. I want to play like more audio. I want to play one more audio because it looked like my phone's finna die, and then we'll spend the rest of the time in the comments. If I could get this played before it dies, I want to play AOC on taxing the rich. AOC on taxing rich. See if I could get an audio play. Perfect. Look, I've never heard this before. This is on Forbes.
Political sirens,
but I know she's going to say the right thing.
Siren calls to allure people into finding scapegoats to blame for rising economic inequality, both domestically and globally.
So when you run for president...
Guys, my phone died. I apologize about that. I'm saying she got the right answers, y'all. She's got the right answers. What the American people want to hear. The system that we have needs to be changed. If there's problems in America, which there are, which we can recognize, America's still the greatest nation on earth. We love our country. We want our country to be better or as best as it can be. So we're trying to fix these problems. What I'm saying is President Trump came out saying that America has problems. VP Harris and establishing them came out saying that everything was fine. What I'm saying is AOC's platform is America has problems. That's her platform. That's Bernie Sanders' platform. That's what they doing. They saying, hey, man, like there's a handful of rich people who controlling everything. And they got all the money and everything. We need to change that. How you change that? You change that by making them pay more taxes. You see what I'm saying? The progressives platform is saying that America has problems. And she's been standing on that since she came in the game. I just think it might be the progressives' time or turn, and she's just the right voice. She is Bernie Sanders' underling. All of Bernie Sanders' voters in 2016 and in 2020, I believe they still like him. He still has a large fan base. I'm saying if AOC decides to run for president, who you think they're going to be out there supporting? What you seen in 2016, see the voters, you don't see this in the votes right now. You don't see none of this in the vote. And when they go out there and poll people, you're not seeing this in the polls. When they say she got 7%, you're not seeing that America wants change. That's not showing up in the polls. That's what I'm saying. The movement, just like President Trump didn't show up in the polls, just like Mandami didn't show up in the polls. What President Trump did, what Mandami did, I'm saying AOC is the same thing. She's the same exact thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And I'm saying if that pendulum then swung to the left, how far left, we don't know. If those progressives only hold a small part, a small portion of power amongst the liberals, but amongst the Democrats in whole, the progressives are a larger number, then I'm saying she could take a wrecking ball, her and Bernie, with that progressive movement, and they could take control of that party. That's what I'm saying. If she's got the right message, that girl, I promise you, she gonna surprise you. And when you guys be surprised, tell you Ghost told you. Ghost told you. It's set up for that, man. You know what I'm saying? I know 2028 is a long time away, but I wanted to come in and I wanted to drop this knowledge on you, man. Real talk. Because if I look at every other candidate that's in that race, every other candidate, Ron DeSantis, he don't really, I would say he ain't really representing the establishment, but that's just he President Trump 2.0. J.D. Vance, he not President Trump 2.0, but he's just a different type of establishment Republican than what President Trump has become, because President Trump right now is just an establishment Republican. That MAGA stuff is named. That America First stuff is named. What I'm saying right now, President Trump and how he's governing, he's an American. Quintia says she's not voting for AOC. Who you voting for then, baby? She says, good morning. She says, I've been here since her girl Jasmine Crockett lost. She says she's taking it harder than Jasmine, man. Unfortunately, Jasmine did lose. Sonny says rich people will leave. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. So you saying rich people, somebody said Bernie Sanders is too old. He is too old, but that's why you got AOC though. That's what she for. Somebody said rich people will leave. So you saying rich people will leave America? That's not factual. If you make them pay more taxes, you saying rich people will leave. Where they gonna go? They gonna go to China? I'm saying, you saying rich people will leave New York, they'll leave New York and go to Florida. Or rich people will leave California, they'll leave California and go to Texas. But what I'm saying is, you saying that people, like rich people gonna leave America, where you gonna go? You gonna go to Canada? You think you gonna make money in Canada like you would the United States? You gonna go to England? There ain't nowhere else to go. You gonna go to China? And what? So you think the Chinese government, the Americans dictating your money, you gonna get mad, so you gonna move to Russia? And you think Putin ain't gonna have nothing to say about how much money or how you get your money? I don't think rich people will leave America if you make them pay more taxes, man. You might have 2 or 3 of them leave. They shouldn't be here anyway. We don't want them here anyway. Because fundamentally, what we believe, the problem is, how many millionaires and billionaires on the Epstein list? How many? You can't get on the Epstein list unless you got money, unless you're a millionaire or billionaire. How many are of them? So who can we care? We don't want no one who on the Epstein list to leave America. You see what I'm saying? We don't want nobody on the Epstein list to leave America. Like that's what I mean. Some of these people, you ain't even gonna care if they leave. You gonna want them to leave. You want to run them out of here. And the rest of them, if you want to leave because you don't want to pay more taxes, that's gonna help contribute to the system. Well, go to China and see how that work or turn out for you. Go live in China and see how that work. Go live in Europe. They're probably gonna take half your money. Canada, go live anywhere else. That's what I'm saying. That's what we gonna do in America, man. It's completely necessary. We're gonna tax the rich. That's what we're doing. That's what's coming. We taxing the rich. Angus says they don't leave the U.S. They just leave New York. They didn't leave New York or California. But I'm saying I don't think they're gonna leave the United States and go to a foreign country because you raise taxes on it. Huh? Because you gotta pay higher taxes. I'm saying that's the right thing to do. All y'all people who making less than less than $300,000 a year. That's the vast majority of Americans. So all of us who making less than $300,000 a year, for you not to believe in taxing the rich, you are believing in the status quo. Because the status quo, we not taxing the rich right now. The status quo, we letting the rich people do whatever they want to, and it's going to keep the system exactly like it is. President Trump said, drain the swamp. He want to change D.C. He said, at one point, he said he want to get rid of the CIA and the FBI. All that radical stuff he was saying, it was resonating with the American people because the American people won't change. Exhibit A, they voted for a black man. Exhibit B, they voted for a guy who doesn't have the highest morality standard, a businessman named Donald Trump, but he was never in politics. When you inserted the establishment, a Democrat, The American people ran from it. In order for you to have exerted Joe Biden in there, listen, Joe Biden could have won or not won the election. You, depending if you support President Trump or how much you support President Trump, that depends on whether or not you believe Joe Biden won that election or Donald Trump. I don't care which. What I'm saying is the only reason why Joe Biden was inserted, whether he won it or whether he didn't win it, the only reason he got there and America dipped from choosing a outside fringe type candidate or someone different, looks different, talk different, represent change and hope, represent draining the swamp and tearing the system down. The reason why America didn't vote for that and Joe Biden was inserted was because of COVID, number one. And number two, it was because January 6th. Because as soon as America had the next decision, y'all hate on VP Harris, it ain't got nothing to do with VP Harris. It might have something to do with her only having 107 days to run her campaign, but it has nothing to do with her and the person she was. America doesn't want an establishment. Listen, if VP Harris had hired me to be on her campaign, the way I would introduce her in that first primary, because in Iowa and New Hampshire, I think she'll do really well. You see what I'm saying? AOC will do really well in New Hampshire. She's going to surprise you in New Hampshire. But in Iowa, I don't know how good AOC will do just coming out, opening the gate, depending on how she don't need to get into the race too late, excuse me. But in Iowa and New Hampshire, I think VP Harris will do really well. But I'm saying her message has to represent change. She has to come in there and say, hey, I know I was Vice President Joe Biden. She need to step away from Joe Biden. She need to step away from the establishment Democrat. She need to start railing on the establishment or railing on listen, okay, I'm Vice President. So yeah, we created the most jobs or we had the lowest unemployment rate in U.S. history. Yeah, I'm not hating on nothing you did, VPA. And you're supposed to be proud of your accomplishment. We need comprehensive immigration reform. Yes, you do need that. But I'm saying on top of all of that, included with all of that, she needs to have a message of change. And I think AOC, without even coming out and saying the word change, a progressive represents change. Her being a Latina, without her coming out and saying change, the first Latina president represents change. Her being a woman, without her coming out and saying the word change, a woman being the first president represents change. President Trump can get AOC elected. If he put ground troops in, listen, it depends on how bad he does and how far America wants to run away from business as usual as the status quo. That's what happened with George Bush. George Bush went to war, and then not only did he went to war, we had the Great Recession, one of the worst economic periods in U.S. history. So between him going to war and between us having that recession, the American people wanted to run so far away from the establishment and business as usual. They didn't want a Hillary Clinton. You know what I'm saying? She was a woman. You either was going to have a woman or a black man. Democrats, they were going to nominate a woman. But they didn't want Hillary Clinton against Barack Obama. That's not what they wanted. Because Hillary Clinton, her husband, used to be president. Business as usual, status quo. And then who President Obama ran against that first time? Mitt Romney? No, John McCain. John McCain's a decorated war hero. Mad respect. I'm an independent. He mad respect amongst the independents, mad respect amongst the Republicans. But they wanted change. They wanted something different. Barack Obama, he looked different, walked different, talked different, and he's talking change. He's speaking change. I mean, it's a winning formula. That's what I'm saying with AOC. Same thing. Hillary Clinton is establishment. She got the popular vote still, but she was establishment. VP Harris, that's my baby. I love her, but she was establishment. AOC is not establishment. And I'm saying I'm trying to tell y'all looking at them Democrats with establishment. I'm telling you, the American people, I told y'all with James Tellerico in the state of Texas. And they decide to choose over Jasmine, but I'm telling you, I don't know necessarily Texas politics, but I know overall in America, I could tell you them swing states that's going to decide this election. Maybe not so in Texas. President Trump might have won by 14 points, but it might just be regular Republican politics in Texas. They might not have been looking for that kind of change in Texas. Jasmine, they might not be. That's not. But I'm saying maybe not in Texas. Maybe not in the South. But I'm telling you, them states that decide that election in Pennsylvania, they tired of business as usual. Independents primarily, swing voters. In Michigan, they tired of business as usual. Independents and swing voters. In Wisconsin, they tired of business as usual. There ain't no president. Barack Obama, he won those 3 states both times. President Trump, both times he won those 3 states. They usually vote together. Presidential elections, the deciders. Now you go around most Americans, you say, hey, yeah, most Americans, they are independents. I'll give you that. You're right about that. But most of America is not going to vote for a black man. You might be right about that. But the Electoral College, what it takes to get elected, is there. Same thing with Donald Trump. Most Americans didn't vote for Donald Trump. Not the first time. But the Electoral College, what it took, and I'm saying the same script for AOC. Same script. Angus says Herman Cain had an idea for a flat 9% tax on everything. What y'all think about that 9% tax on everything? I have to look at that tax plan. Even if you got a 9% tax on everything, you got to tax the rich. The rich people got to pay more taxes. Elon, baby, I don't want to pick on you. 700 billion with a B dollars. One man accumulated that much wealth. He has to pay more taxes. What are we talking about here? Has to. If you took $200 billion from Elon, you know how many people you could cure, but you could halfway cure, if not all the way cure homeless throughout the entire United States. You could feed children. You could feed millions of children for months with that amount of money. You see what I'm saying? $200 billion, that's a lot of money. You take $200 billion away from him, he still got $500 billion. And you ain't going to take $200 billion from him in taxes. That's what I'm saying. It don't make no sense. The argument don't make no sense. If President Trump, what President Trump and them worth now? Probably about $10 billion. If you took $5 billion from President Trump, he's still rich. He's still a billionaire. If you took half of his wealth, and I'm saying he's not even a billionaire like Jeff Bezos, and he got little billions compared to them. They got hundreds of billions. He got less than 15 billion. I don't know the right number. But I'm saying if you took so much money from him, he's still going to be rich. So I'm saying there ain't no situation where you're going to do a wealth tax that you're going to take 50% of somebody's wealth. Listen, what we'll do is if you did if you're making $1 billion a year, anything over $1 billion, we're going to take 50% of it. So if you make 10 billion, that means we're going to tax you. That 1 billion is yours. And then we're going to tax anything you make over that 1 billion. So we're going to take half of that 9 billion you made. We're going to take 4.5 billion. So that means you made 5.5 billion. Yeah, you need a 75% wealth tax, at least 75% wealth tax over a certain number of money. The economy has done better when we had a wealth tax. Facts. I don't care what no one say. Y'all try to say socialism. It's not socialism whatsoever. President Trump he gonna get mad here in a second because Y'all don't understand. That's what AOC saying. Our problem in America is corporate greed. It's the greed. It's the greed. It's the greed. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. That's our problem in America. That's our whole problem. So I'm saying, why would you, if you make less than $300 billion, try to protect them? This is why President Trump finna be mad. So Sunday, before the war started, gas about $60 a barrel. Okay? After Sunday, the war's been going on for a little bit. Gas hit $118 a barrel before it came down to $100 a barrel. I don't know President Trump. They might be listening. They might have put two and two together, or he might be actually coming to his senses. I'm going to do a live stream on Monday. By Monday, President Trump, I'm calling on you hard not to end this war. Save you from destruction politically. Save your party from destruction politically. President Trump on Monday next week need to be the last week that America is flying sorties, and you need to come out and say it and watch what that stock market do. Get your gains back. It's going to take a second for oil because he's going to have to deal with Iran and them trying to control that. You want to attack them? Listen, this is what I'm saying. So the oil, $100 a barrel, okay? Opening on Monday. Yesterday, when I looked at the oil, I think it's like $87 a barrel, $89 a barrel. It's in the 80s, okay? $85 a barrel. So when we go to the gas pump, you seen gas go down yesterday? Did you see gas go down today, this morning? It ain't no lower where I'm at, and I'm sure it ain't no lower where you at. You know, it's probably doing the opposite. It's probably still rising. I'm saying he got so the price of oil was $100 a barrel, and it dropped down to $80-some a barrel. But you ain't going to the tank. You might say, hey, Ghost, it might take them a week for the prices to drop back down. Got to stabilize. Oh, really? That's what it is. Price gouging, man. They gon' listen. It's not gasoline, it's groceries, it's the cost of living across the board. Republicans don't believe in regulation. In order for us to get those prices cheaper, we have to regulate those businesses and stop them from price gouging when they want to. Oh, they got a freeze coming. We got 15 trucks coming through DC. They got slowed down, so we got to raise the price of hot dogs by 5 cents. When the freeze over, I'm saying, what's going to make them drop the prices back down? When COVID is over, what's going to make them drop the prices back down? What's going to make them? Greed on every level. You can't get mad at Walmart for raising their prices. They trying to make money. How many people Walmart employ? They got people to play. The Walton family got money to make. They creating the wealth. You can't get mad at them for raising the prices. It's the whole system. It's the whole system. That's what President Trump was saying. But he's saying it in a completely different way than AOC saying. President Trump came out the blue. He wasn't AOC is a politician, just like Kamala is, just like Gavin, and just like Pete Buttigieg. According to that poll, what was that? The Daily Post, those the top 4 Democrats. She a politician. The difference with her is the progressives, their message is change, to revamp the system, to redo the system. That's the progressives' whole platform. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, y'all gonna be surprised in 2028. They putting her in that polling. AOC, baby, if you gonna run, y'all give her this message. If y'all tell her anything Gus said, if you gonna run, please do not wait to the last minute. You need to get this cracking in February of 2027, AOC. You need to get it cracking. You need to get it cracking. I hate how these politicians, like VP Harris, I believe she gonna run. So VP Harris, if you gonna run, baby, don't wait to the last minute. I believe Gavin Newsom gonna run. Don't wait to the last minute. Real talk. And listen, I'll say it like this about Pete Buttigieg. I'm going to just go ahead and say this. I can never support a gay man running for president. America is not ready for a gay man to be president. So Pete Buttigieg, if you win that nomination, you could guarantee the Democrats will lose. 10,000%. The Democrats will lose. America don't want that salt. They want, I'm talking the real. America might not be ready for a woman to be president, and your top 4 candidates is a gay man and 2 women, and Gavin Newsom. So Pete Buttigieg, America's not ready for that whatsoever. 10,000%. VP Harris and Gavin Newsom, like I'm not gonna hate on them at all. You see what I'm saying? But they are more establishment than AOC. And I think America's going to want to change. It's just about her message. The campaign slogan, the campaign messaging, that's what it's all going to come down to. How good can she organize? I believe she's going to have, just like what we've seen James Tallarico do, I think she's going to have 1 trillion volunteers. When you get a lot of those young people, bro, like that, you get them motivated college-age students, she could start a people-based movement, man. She can really do that. I mean, what we seen President Trump do with MAGA, I'm trying to tell you, female version, she can do that within the Democratic Party with the progressives. Listen, guys, we see still to this day, still right now, a lot of things that we see going on with even with listen, this is profound. When VP Harris was running for president, there was always hecklers. She always had hecklers. They were really progressives. She had hecklers all the time. How many of y'all know what I'm talking about? They pushed her on her support for Israel. They pushed her on the Israeli-Palestinian war. They pushed her on that. You know what I'm saying? Dearborn, Michigan, a Muslim community who a lot of the times they vote for Democrats, they actually voted for President Trump due to the disdain of the war with the Palestinians. Same thing with the in Texas, in South Texas, those Hispanics across America, Hispanics, immigration, you'd be surprised. Listen, America want a candidate or a politician who's strong and who's tough, but who's not trying to keep things the way they always have been, who's not trying to maintain the status quo. And that's facts. Ahmad, what's up, Ahmad? If Michelle Obama ran and became president, be Obama's 3rd term. Listen, I think Michelle Obama, in my opinion, Ahmad, I think out of all of the candidates, she probably will have the best chance for the Democrats to win the nomination. I think the longer she waits and don't run, the more the Obama's names are away from the spotlight, I believe it becomes harder for her. But yeah, Michelle Obama, she definitely, you know what I'm saying? That I mean, that's establishment Democrat, but that's just a level above. Within the Democratic Party, that's royalty. Now, when it comes to her running against J.D. Vance, I think that will give the American people a start. If you ask me to predict a situation like that, I will have to see how President Trump and them do in these last few, you see what I'm saying? I will have to see how they do. That would determine how far left the pendulum swings. So Michelle Obama would definitely be, you know what I'm saying? Definitely. Oh man, Angle says if Pete Booty won, techno would be weaponized. I'm not hating on this man, bro. Like one of my homegirls, like one of these a participant in the chat, one of the strongest participants in the chat. You know what I'm saying? She was she's made a comment about Pete Buttigieg, and I blocked her, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hate on him I'm just being realistic. America is not ready for a gay man to be president. What? Who said that? We ain't nowhere close to ready for that. I don't believe that. I ain't buying that. I ain't going for that. America's not ready for that. America's not for that. That's not what we looking for. Ahmad says Trump has a lot of good policies he wants passed, but on social programs to help middle class and poor Americans, he sucks. Ahmad, that's why I made you a moderator. He has a lot of great policies. I don't think no one really argues with President Trump's policies or his view of America. I think he's more aligned. He tapped in with the American people the best. And he got the best view compared to other Americans. The way he projected America, like, okay, make America great again. We want to fix this. 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 The Democrats led 25 million people across. They try to act like it wasn't a problem. It ain't no problem with immigrants. That's so out of touch with the American people. That was real out of touch. The problem President Trump has, it's not his policies, it's the execution of his policies. Okay, we with you on immigration. We still with you on that closed border. We think all your work need to be at the border. That's where you get the most support on immigration. But when you start coming into our communities and American citizens start getting killed by federal agents, then we not with you no more. We not with that. We with what you saying. We not with that execution. The same thing on the economy. And I think that's what Ahmad is pretty much saying, like, hey, we straight, we with him. And he talking about we with him. You know what I'm saying? On a lot of things, we with you, President Trump, but the way that execution, the way you execute that, we not with that. We not with that. We can't be that with that. We probably never will be with that. So the execution of your policies, no, we not with. But your actual policies, oh yeah, we with that. That's why you won the election. And I'm saying Bernie Sanders, he admitted this. He said, I heard him say this. He said President Trump, he did acknowledge that America has problems. And he said that's something that the Democratic Party didn't do. It's something that Bernie Sanders probably never thought that. I mean, look, if Bernie could pick up the phone and he could give VP Harris some advice, not saying they had a relationship like that, but say they did, you know, I think, you know what I'm saying, him being, President Biden was from what? He from Delaware or something like that, huh? And he was senator. And Bernie Sanders from Vermont, just from the close proximity, I would imagine that Bernie and President Biden has some sort of relationship. VP Harris might not, but say Bernie called VP Harris. He said, hey, VP Harris, listen, y'all are trying to make it seem like America is okay and we don't need no help whatsoever. And that's not what's going on in America. So maybe if you address more problems that we have in America, VP Harris, maybe you can relate to the American people more. I don't think if Bernie Sanders, he wouldn't even think to say that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because look, VP Harris, she had a lot of good economic ideas. And I'm saying every single Democrat that I talk to, every single Democrat that I talk to or will talk to, not even Democrat, even Republicans. That's why I would support VP Harris before them, because even the Republicans, her policies. I'm saying, like Ahmad said, like, I mean, you don't help the middle class or the poor at all, but you give rich people tax breaks. And the rich people you giving the tax breaks, those are the ones that's creating the problems in America. Those are the ones on the Epstein list. Those are the ones controlling everything. That's why we cannot get a change. That's why. That's why President Trump, before he ran, he gonna come out, release the Epstein files. He gonna do it. They took a law to get those Epstein files. President Trump might not have been trying to hold him because he was worried about his name being on him. That's what we think. But you know what I'm saying? Like, President Biden didn't even think about releasing those. Oh, Epstein, did he? That's the system that President Trump always railed against. What he called it, the establishment, what President Trump called it. That's what he always, and that's what the people tapped in and resonated with. It's us versus them. Before the election, President Trump was cosplaying like he's one of us. He might have been one of us. But that's what I'm trying to say within that Democratic Party, bro. It's just not just the Democrat, within American politics in general. It's just that hard to really change something. Even though the American people are looking for change, what I'm saying, what AOC and Bernie Sanders are saying as a part of the party, it represents the most change that you're going to get. Unless J.D. Vance going to come out talking something different, I don't see how much different he could talk than what President Trump was talking. I just don't see it. I'm just being honest with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. But maybe he does. You know? Guys, I'll be right back. Y'all keep the comments coming. When I get back, I'm going to jump in the comments with y'all. Angus, if y'all haven't liked the video, double tap the screen, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. It's been about 2 hours, y'all. We've been streaming. We hadn't got any donations yet, guys. If you guys want to donate to the channel, y'all hit the button with the $sign in it, and your donations are much appreciated. Y'all give me just a second. I'll be right back, guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You said Democrats like the Virginia governor always tax the poor, sir. I don't know anything about that. You said that she taxed the poor. You got show me where she taxed the poor at. You know what I'm saying? If that's a news story you got or some information, Angus, will you put the link in the chat for me? You know what I'm saying? I think that, I mean, that's pretty much the whole argument. You know what I'm saying? I think the Democratic Party, they might want to change. You see how the Democrats, this is something another thing you guys need to pay attention to, okay? Guys, welcome in Cruising with Ghostwriter. If you guys haven't liked the video, double tap the screen for me, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit the notification bell. Another thing I noticed about the Democrats too is the Democrats they're not that popular. That's facts. You see what I'm saying? The Democratic Party, the Democrats in general are not that popular. I'm saying even though they're winning elections, the American people, they don't really have another choice. They only have to choose between these two candidates. But what I'm saying, the Democratic Party, overall, the popularity level isn't that high. I mean, that's another thing for AOC too. Even though she's a Democrat, it's the stuff that she's saying. It's what she represents. It's what she is. Who she is. It's all of those things combined. And when you combine all of those things together, yes, I think that she has a much better chance. She has a better chance than any other Democrat in that election, or excuse me, in the race to win, y'all. Cruising with Ghostwriter, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad y'all here, man. Y'all riding with your boy, man. Rainy day up here in Hudson Valley. Let's see. Somebody says, God bless ICE. Yeah, man, God bless ICE when they doing the right thing. God bless ICE whenever they not shooting American citizens. God bless ICE when they going after drug cartels and taking fentanyl off the streets. Yeah, God bless ICE. Like, I mean, I guess you saying that because AOC and them saying they want to abolish ICE. But like I told you, like President Trump and like every other president before him, they have things that they want to do and things they're actually capable of doing. And I'm talking about this President Trump. He was a president before. He was number 45. So y'all walk back with me a little bit. Let's go back to pre-election. Let's go back to, where are we going to? Let's go back to summer of 2025, or a little past the summer. Let's go past the assassination attempt. Past the assassination attempt, let's go to, where are we going to, y'all? We're going to probably about August of 2025, September of 2025. September of 2025, man, it's like this. I apologize, y'all. God, crazy, you know, up here in New York, there's a lot of drivers who drive like sporadically, but you know, here in Hudson Valley, it's a little smaller. You get that too. You know what I'm saying? But look, if you go past about September 2025 with President Trump, I'm saying he's already been president before. So he know how things are, excuse me. So it's like whether or not you believe he's actually selling something or if he's telling the truth. You say, Ghost, what you talk about, there's things President Trump said he was going to do too that we hadn't seen from him yet. Like stopping the war. I could go on and on. I'm not trying to badmouth President Trump. But what my point is things that you want to do before you become president and things you are capable of doing once you become president are two totally different things. And I'm saying President Trump said like releasing the Epstein files. President Biden, they wasn't even trying to ask him because they know President Biden was the establishment. He's the establishment. That's the old guard, draining the he is the swamp President Trump talking about draining. So we're not even going to ask for no Epstein list with President Biden. We had to vote for him business as usual. Let's see what happens in 2024. Well, in 2024, it was President Biden again, and then President Trump. We know what happened with President Biden. He eventually, left the race. But the people went with President Biden. I'm saying it's kind of like, we see business as usual. We just gonna vote for President Biden. They didn't even ask for no Epstein list. It wasn't. But when President Trump came, they were expecting something different than what they were getting. No foreign involvement in wars. That's part of the reason why President Biden probably won. You know what I'm saying? Because of his rhetoric about ending the wars and not being part of wars, and you know what I'm saying? And that plays a large part in it too, man. It really does, politically. The reason why he lost is because the economy. You know what I'm saying? People voted on the economy. People vote on the economy. They're going to continue to vote on the economy. That's what it's all about. It's the economy. You know what I'm saying? That's the number one issue. So, I don't know, man. I just say God bless ICE, yeah, but they got to be doing the right thing. If they're not doing the right thing, I know y'all talking about AOC abolishing ICE. But that's why I just gave you the commentary that I gave you. There's a lot of people who talk about doing things that they want to do like that. Same thing with Mandami in New York. They'll say, oh, Mandami don't support the police. He want to abolish the police department. You know what I'm saying? But when he kept Tish there. He didn't really change nothing with the police. As a candidate, there's a lot of things that candidates want to do, but once they get to that power, you just got to understand politics. You got to understand that. So you hear AOC saying abolish ICE, so you automatically think in your mind, you see what I'm saying, that this woman is about to be against ICE, or she is going to get rid of ICE. I'm saying you running around shooting American citizen. President Trump said abolish the CIA and abolish FBI as a candidate. Y'all ain't holding him to the same standards you holding AOC for saying abolish ICE. I could find audio for you where President Trump said he want to get rid of the FBI, bro, the CIA. What you talking about? And I'm saying that's because it's personal stuff that happened against him personally. And he was the 45th president as the candidate, Donald J. Trump. Like I said, in September of 2024, it's like he was president before he know he ain't gonna be able to abolish the FBI or nothing. And then the assassination attempt happened. Y'all judge it how y'all want to judge it. I don't think that was a bullet that whizzed by President Trump either. I don't think that. I think what hit President Trump's ear was some shards of glass or something that when he shot, how many shots that, what's his name shoot? I think that's what hit his ear. I think the FBI, I heard the FBI said they weren't convinced that it was a bullet that hit his ear. But hey, if he say it's a bullet, it's a bullet. But you say, Ghost, why you say that? Does it matter if it was a bullet? What I'm saying is, I don't think that assassination attempt wasn't meant to kill President Trump. I don't think that situation was meant to kill him at all. Didn't he have a bulletproof glass in front of him? No, he didn't, did he? He didn't have a bulletproof glass. I still don't believe it was to kill him. I don't. I believe whoever did that, so the shooter who did it, I don't believe he acted alone. However and whoever was radicalizing, I believe that was who was behind what happened. I'm not going to conspiracy theory it, but I just believe that. And I believe whoever was behind that, the killer, besides the killer, I believe, you know what I'm saying, that, if they wanted in that situation, look, for you to be able to do that, there had to be some lapses in security. So for you to have those lapses in security at those moments they did, You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna come too often. So, I mean, if you really want to get them, you're gonna get a highly trained shooter. Just like they did with Charlie Kirk. Not saying that guy was highly trained. We don't even know if he took. All I'm saying, if they wanted to get him, they could have got him the first time. I don't think that assassination attempt was to kill President Trump. I think it was to scare him. That's what I believe. I think that assassination attempt on his life was to scare him. I don't think that was a bullet that went by his head. I think that was some ricochet, glass, wood, metal, and I don't think they never intended or they thought that he was going to get killed. The story sounds dramatic, turning your head, turning your ear. I heard people say that President Trump set that up. I don't think he set it up himself. I don't believe none of that. I don't think that was to kill him. I think that was to warn him. That's what I think. And we see since he's been president, like he governing a lot different than what he was saying on the campaign trail. You know what I'm saying? And that isn't just President Trump. You don't need an assassination attempt. Whether the assassination attempt, whatever the purpose was, you don't need that. That's not just President Trump that happens to, guys. That's what I'm trying to tell you. What I'm trying to tell you is that happens to every president almost that has ever served. Almost every single president that has ever served. So you telling me that AOC saying that she wants to abolish ICE, and you thinking that actually means that if she was elected president, she would abolish ICE? I don't think you understand politics too well. That's just what I'm saying. I don't think ICE will ever be abolished, and I don't think that she will abolish ICE. I think candidate AOC might be saying abolish ICE because she's just taking a tough stand on ICE due to the killing of American citizens. To me, that could be understood. If you looked at a poll, there would be a large percentage of American people at the time that Renee Good and Ellis Peretti was getting killed that would say abolish ICE. If I'm not mistaken, it was over 30% of the American people said they wanted to abolish ICE. But since then, we hadn't seen ICE in American cities. We hadn't seen American, you know what I'm saying? We hadn't seen Americans being killed or slaughtered. I don't want to say slaughtered, but killed. You know, ICE ain't, I guess ICE still operating in American cities, but we're not hearing about them. And as long as we don't hear about them, I think the abolish ICE thing will go away. If I'm not mistaken, what I heard her say when they asked her about it, and I could look deeper, but you know what I'm saying? I know I'm not representing her, but if I'm not mistaken, what I heard her say is I heard her say that she didn't want to abolish ICE, but she wanted to reform it. You know what I'm saying? I think that was, guys, y'all got to understand, there's degrees of liberalism, there's degrees of progressiveness. I'm talking about there's some people who are so far left of AOC, you would think she was in the center. You guys got to understand that about politics. It's a lot, man. A whole lot. NTZ Claus, what's up? What's up? Somebody says they were aiming at his ear. I don't know. I think that was a ricochet. If I'm not mistaken, I heard an FBI agent say glass. They said the report that I heard before the final report, when they were doing the investigation, one of the FBI analysis, he said that, and I'm saying that he working for the FBI during the investigation at that time, he said they weren't sure, they weren't positive that was a bullet that hit President Trump's ear. It could have actually been a piece of glass. So if you believe it was a bullet, then it could have been a bullet. I don't know. I wasn't there. None of us was there. What I'm saying is, I heard rumors, people say that, that was set up to help President Trump win the election. I don't believe that at all. I could just tell how President Trump was moving and acting. I don't think he was too happy with that situation. What I think that was an attempt to scare him. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna kind of play by the rule books. You're gonna play by the rules. I don't know. It may be, it may not be. I might be dead wrong. All I'm saying is every single president or every single candidate has said different things than when they're governed. The president don't have the power that y'all think that he has. I know this. I'm aware of this. A lot of y'all aren't aware of this. A lot of y'all think that the president is all powerful and could do anything. But that's just completely not accurate. The president does not have the power that a lot of you guys think he has. And that's just factuals. Doesn't have that authority. I'm saying if the court ain't taking it from him behind the scenes, the military got a big say, a loud say in what happened. And I mean, you talk about the military, you know what I'm saying? Homeland Security, you know what I'm saying? The element of Homeland Security is embedded with the military. You got CIA. You know what I'm saying? It ain't an element of the CIA embedded with the military. The entire CIA is embedded with the military. I'm saying, man, like, I mean, that's just what this is. That's just what it is, man. I mean, and the American president, like, y'all don't understand this. Y'all might not know this, but they can only do so much. They can only do what they could do. They don't have an unlimited amount of power like a lot of people think they have. They have actually a lot less power than people think they have. Actually. NT Claus says, being of the historically wealthiest cities in the United Natchez, I could tell you that the most extremely wealthy people are globetrotters. The world is their home. You guys haven't liked the video, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Somebody said the Democrats got 3 parties in one. Yeah, they do. The Republicans do too, though. Libertarians, you have conservatives, you have the traditional Republicans or the establishment Republicans. You have MAGA. I don't know if a MAGA and America First is the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got libertarians. That's 6 different factions of the Republican Party. A lot of countries, they might have 20 parties, 50 parties. Some countries have 100 political parties. I've heard of countries with thousands of political parties. America has multiple, like over 15, 20 political parties. You talking about where their ideology line up. You see what I'm saying? Like, but just like the liberals, progressives, you have conservative Democrats. It's a such thing. I'm saying if there wasn't an independent party, you would probably say I was a conservative Democrat. I mean, if you couldn't register as an independent, you had to register as a Republican or register as a Democrat. Then I'm saying, like, I would have to say I would probably be a conservative Democrat. I'll be a Democrat, but I'll be against abortion. I'll be against gay rights. Socially, I'm conservative, all the way conservative. Not half of the way, not part of the way, all of the way. Socially. I don't know. I guess NTZ clause, but I just say, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we still gonna abide by and respect the U.S. Constitution, 10,000%. But what I'm saying, moving forward, though, like, I mean, you got to think about how many hundreds of years ago that the Constitution was written. Moving forward, I would just say that according to today's times, still abiding by the Constitution, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about the redistribution of wealth. You know what I'm saying? I believe in free market societies. I believe in capitalism, but I believe it has to be regulated. So to regulate people being too greedy, most definitely, 10,000%. Hey, if you feel so, Adam, if you feel so, I'm saying, like, I don't live in that world. Like, you talking about the short bus. When I talk about the short bus, I think about who rides the short bus. See what I'm saying? I think about who rides the short bus. So you saying AOC rides the short bus, but she really don't ride the short bus. So I think you trying to make a joke. But I mean, I'm just saying, I just don't see no laughter in it. That's like, we were telling short bus jokes in high school. And I'm talking about, for me, that was like in 1996. I'm saying the short bus, you can't tell that joke another way. Since 1996, bro, think about that. That's 30 years. I'm saying you got to use a 30-year-old joke. You know how you use a joke. They told a joke like jive turkey. That's something you hear. I heard my parents say jive. They talk about jive. But we changed the word from jive to lame. We don't say jive no more. And the younger kids probably don't say lame. They probably got another different word for it. That's what I'm saying. You see how the creativity over time. You know what I'm saying? We'll tell that younger, they were saying job to us. We didn't like the word job. That's old, man. We say lame. The younger people, they got a different. So I'm saying, you telling the joke that we were telling that joke in high school. Short bus, ride the short bus. I'm saying, man, it ain't no, I don't address that really. It's no substance in that. Where's the substance? I'm looking for any kind of substance in that. Where's the substance? There's no substance in it. A lot of people live their life. They got money. They got a wife, but there's no substance in their conversations. There's no substance in really not much of nothing they do besides going to punch the clock, punching somebody else's clock. They can't be successful starting a business. I'm saying they don't have no creativity. There's no substance in what they're doing. I'm just being real with y'all. It's no substance in what they're saying. You got to have substance in what you're saying. I talk with y'all for 2 hours and 23 minutes. There's a lot of substance in a lot of things that I say. Even when I'm not talking politics, it's a lot of substance in what I say. You ain't got to hear me say that this guy don't need to run for, he needs to be kicked out the Republican Party, and see, shout out Speaker Johnson, stand up, see Speaker Johnson say what he said, and then Representative Gonzalez quit the next day. You don't have to see me do that to say that there's substance in what I'm saying. I ain't got to tell y'all predict right that 2 million people plus gonna vote in the Democratic primary in the state of Texas for you to know it's substance in what I'm saying. It's a lot of substance in the stuff I say. You saying AOC on the short bus, it ain't no substance in there. Where the substance at? You know what I'm saying? Like I put the wealthier than the British, now 10% tax bracket of the U.S. NTZ Cloud, there's a lot of substance in that. I'm saying I could do a whole live stream on that. comparing Europe and how they tax their citizens compared to them. Man, there's so much, bro, I could write. I'm saying there's substance. It goes somewhere past that. You saying I got a big nose. If that don't go nowhere past that, that's the end of that sentence. No substance. Does that make sense? Some people don't even understand what I'm saying right now. Does that make sense? You saying I got big lips. You get a laugh or joke. That's a low energy, low volume, low intelligence. Like if I do that sometimes, I guess. But I'm saying I don't live my life in that place, Cootieville. Like, just there's no substance in that. Zero. I'm saying you talking about someone else, that's not changing or doing nothing at all. You just talking about it. And you getting people to laugh at a joke that you telling. That's all that's happening. The people who laughing at your joke, they don't know you and they don't care nothing about what you say. Not personally. They don't care. It's just regular life stuff. There's no substance in that, man. I cannot participate in that with you. Not for no extended amount of time. I need some substance. NTZ Charles, yeah, he says truth is universal. Yes, it is universal. It's not no fakeness or no falseness in truth. And you ain't got to prove the truth. I ain't got to prove. Like, I be trying, but that's what people tell me. Don't prove everything. Most of what I say is correct. I don't have to prove it. It's just going to happen. I'm going to say it and it's going to happen or be true. If I say something about your personality or your character flaws, I don't have to prove it. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I said, like, I went and met my pops and I said my pops is A, B, and C, I ain't got to prove that to nobody. All you got to do is go be around them. And you going to see, that's the kind of person I am. You're going to see what I'm saying is facts. That's why my weight, my character got carry more weight than a lot of people's positions. My words, the people who know on the up and up, my words and my character carry a lot more weight than people's positions. People's authorities, they positions of authority. It's just because it's the way I carry myself. It's the realness, man. Real talk. Real talk. Like, you got to understand, like, people think you try to prove a point or your opinion, ain't nobody really care but you. You the only one that care. I don't care. You already know I don't care. You know how I handle disrespect, and the rest of it is lawsuits. That's it. You know I don't care. But I'm saying people, like, they always try to prove points that, and nobody cared. Like, you spending your time to prove this point, and even if you proved it, no one still would care. It wouldn't change nothing. It wouldn't change nothing. Somebody trying to stop me from doing something that I ain't even trying to do. I let them spend all their time trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that like, I was in a situation where, dude, he's sending girls at me. I'm not trying to holler at no girls, man. So it's like I got to call the girls ugly and start being rude and mean to them to get them to stop trying that. He didn't play like, I ain't trying to holler at no girls, man. Like, I'm building my business, man. That's what I'm doing. I'm fighting for justice. That's why I'm out here, and I'm not going to lose focus. I told this over 240 females before in my lifetime, man. Think about that. At 45, that's 240 opportunities to learn lessons. Different opportunities. That's disgraceful. Man, I ain't supposed to be with that many women. I could see if you say 2 or 3, you know, I messed up this time, but the third one I found her. I'm talking about 240 different women. And I'm talking about over 40 or 50 of those women multiple times. I'm saying I done learned everything. You got dudes, they gonna go to the grave. They can't control themselves. They just gotta have sex. That's why some men married. They married to ugly women. Real talk. They're not happy with what they married. And it wasn't for love. It was for lust. dude told me he married his wife for lust. He said he seen his wife breasts. She had big breasts, and that's what it was lust. He might have ended up learning to love her, but originally it's lust. And you might have married an ugly woman, bro. That's because you gotta lay up in the bed with someone at night. You just weak like that. You weak-minded. Being tough ain't just physical strength. It's not being able to fight. Tough is way more than that. Tough is sleeping in your car, and it ain't about proving a point. It's about standing up for justice. That's tough. So a lot of people can't do that. You feel me? You can't wear these. What kind of shit? What kind of Nikes are these? I don't even know if they're Air Max. You can't wear these Nikes, boy. A lot of people can't do that. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, I just try to be real with y'all, man. Somebody said I should talk on Roland Martin Unfiltered, man. Roland Martin need to hit me up. You say Don Lemon need to hit me up. But that's right, though. You saying if I want to expand as an analyst, isn't this what you're saying? If I want to expand as an analyst, I should go the next step up shows. And Roland Martin, he supports, you know what I'm saying, black strategists and analysts. And I believe Roland Martin, he would love to have me on this show. I would fit perfectly in that environment. I think I'll have a lot of great advice. I think he'll probably continue to have me on. And the same with Don Lemon, the same with Bill Maher. The same with a lot of YouTubers and podcasters, but they need to hit my phone though. My information out there on YouTube and on Instagram. They could shoot me an email. Hit my phone up. Any one of them. Any one of them. That's all they got to do. You got to hit my phone though. Like I mean, I'm not trying to be like a podcaster or strategist. I mean, the people who know, who tap in and who know, they done seen it. They know what this is. So I'm saying if I'm walking around and you know what I'm saying, it's like I'm carrying this stick on a vertical live feed on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I don't think I'm better or good. Like I would love to go on anybody's show and participate in anything that they got going on that has to do with politics and positive, and it'll help me expand and get my name out there more, and it'll do a whole lot of things. But you know what I'm saying? If any one of them hit me, I ain't gonna turn out nobody's show. I'll go on Sean Hannity. See, this is how I would run my candidates. It ain't what. It's America, boy, and I'm an independent too, so like I could relate with Republicans and Democrats, and I could go hard on Republicans and Democrats. I stand 10 on what I believe. It don't matter what room I'm in. If I'm in a room full of Christians, I believe the same thing I do in a room full of non-Christians, in a room full of Muslims, in a room full of Republicans, in a room full of Democrats. What I believe and how I talk, my speech don't change. You rare to find the people like me. It's going to stay the same. I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to say the same thing I'm going to say in front of that I'm not going to say. It ain't going to change. If I'm going to say it to you behind your back, I'll tell you to your face. Ask the people that know me. Sometimes I could be real rude, bro. But I tell the truth. I speak the truth. You ask the people who know me personally, tell them the times that I told lies. And they be scratching. It's hard to catch me in a lie, bro, because I ain't saying I don't lie. Because if I say I don't lie, that's a lie. You feel me? Every man gonna tell a lie or falsehood sometimes. God, sometimes he don't call it lie as they are not in the truth. You telling something that's not true. It might not be a direct lie or a little white lie, black lie, however y'all break it down, but it's not the truth. Everybody does that sometimes. But I'm saying compared to other people, I say I don't lie. But I do sometimes. Everybody does. I believe in truth. I believe in being real, even if it's to my own detriment. Because I don't care that much about somebody's opinion I don't care what you think or say about me at all. It's irrelevant. Look, you would go tell a girl that I'm musty, and that girl come over here to smell me, or whatever she coming over here to do. You trying to prove your point. And the old me, I'm trying to tell you I did this all the time. When I was into that, I'm talking about how many dudes, girls that I took. These white girls. Y'all, I'm a fat boy. I've been a fat boy my whole life. When I was younger, I might have looked different, but I'm still cute right now. I'm just, bro, boy, you been lost. You don't, boy, go look in the mirror. Go look at your boyfriend, and then come back and look at me again and tell me I'm not cute. You feel? You feel what I'm saying? I done had that's been verified by many different girls. I don't care what no little scallywag run up and say. Let me stop. You see what I'm saying? Bro, but you could tell a girl I'm musty, bro. You send that girl over here, bro, and shit. I had that girl in the bathroom, pent up, the one you sent, the one you done all that stuff to. You send her over here, I did it in the past. In the bathroom, I'll be beating her neck back, telling you to go get another one and send. You know you sending these girls, white girl, Hispanic girl, they halfway goofy anyway. She looking, she checking. She looking and checking. I'm saying, like, I'm just not opening my mouth trying to talk to her because I can ignore all of that little nonsense. When I was into what I was into, I beat her head back. I'm telling you, I'm gonna try one time. 3 out of 10, 3 or 4 out of 10. I'm trying everything moving, anything within my voice. I'm trying. So whatever you telling them about me, it don't matter. She gonna see for herself, cause I'm a try. You tell a girl who don't know me, she get in my vicinity, bro. She entertain me at all, she gonna get tried. That's the kind of dude that I was. But you telling these people, and if she don't entertain me, why would I care? My thing was about numbers. I'm going to try 10 girls, and I know I'm going to get 3 or 4. I'm a numbers dude. Always have been since I was a little kid. I'm going to try 10 girls, and I'm going to get 3 or 4 of them. 10 bad ones, 3 or 4. If they ducks, my bad, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That language. If they not as attractive, I would say I'll probably get like 6 or 7 out of 10. But if they pretty, half of that, or a little less than half of that. Real talk, man. And so, like, I'm gonna just shoot at her. If I work with her, I'm gonna shoot at her 10 times. I ain't even worried about it. She tell me no the first time, I'll be back. I'm shooting at another one. And then you gonna ping, there go one, and you put her on the team, and I'm still out there shooting at her, bro. Hey, what you saying about me is irrelevant. The people you saying, they don't care. You just don't get it. The people in your family might care, your friends might care, your wife might care, your kids might care, your kids' friends might care a little bit when they're around you. But I'm saying these people you saying to out here, they don't care about what you're talking about. They only think about that when they see me. And the only reason why it's anything of any value is because I'm not talking to them. I'm not going to address them. Whether you say that my breath stink to them or not, I'm still not going to talk to them. I'm not going to talk to them either way. That's what you don't understand. Either way. If I'm going to talk to, if it's a girl around me that, because it's not just about how she looks, it's her vibes, it's her emotion, everything. It's just something inside me that made me say something to her. If I'm going to say something or want to say something to her, it don't matter what you told her about me, because whatever you told her about me, if it's true, she going to see it when you say it. And if it's false when she around me, she going to see it when she around me. It's completely irrelevant. It's not changing or anything in my life. It's not changing nothing in your life. It's just words with no substance. I'm just being real with you. That's the all the way real. He say in his next life he'll come back as a man, but I'm saying you can't say that to somebody who will black your eye and who will bust your nose and break your jaw. You see what I'm saying? So a woman ain't gonna do that to no man. I don't think a transgender, I don't know, or a gay person. A gay person might hit you with that quick right or that quick left. I don't know. But I'm saying, like, with Ghost, though, like, he ain't gonna have no reservations about it. I don't care how good of a fighter he is. He could be bigger than me. I don't care about none of that. Boy, I'll go get some for you. Lay you down. You talking about a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, who out here paying for anything that I'm doing? You talking about a man? You know what I'm saying? Who writing my lawsuits? Who coming up with the political strategy that I'm giving you? You talking about a man? That's what I'm saying. It's no substance in what you're saying. You don't. Next lifetime, I'll come back as a man. And there, you don't get no next lifetime. Next lifetime, you're gonna be in heaven or hell. That's reality. See, they don't like me. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'll come back as a man. Then, like, you don't get to pick what you come back in next lifetime. I guess I'll say some sentences without no substance, but it'll be a strategy for why I'm saying it. I guess you figure it's strategy too. I guess you saying that just to try to troll me, because I'm saying, like, it's just no substance to that. I don't practice living in sentences and language and times and places with no substance. I just don't do that. No, I wouldn't say avoid a lie NTZ clause, but I think once you get older, unless you're just a wicked person, you're going to mature, you're going to mature to the point to where you're just not going to be running around lying. Like, when you're a child, you got a lot more reasons to lie, but once you get my age, what you got to lie for? You going to get a spanking? Just tell the truth. Your wife going to leave you? You going to get fired from your job? I mean, not saying, look, when the Bible say a liar won't inherit the kingdom of God, just because you tell a lie, you're not a liar. Like, I give this example a lot. Just because you speed when you go in a car, that don't mean that you a speeder or you a fast driver because you late for a doctor's appointment and you get a speeding ticket one time for driving fast. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got in a fight one time don't mean you a gangster. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, just because you tell a lie don't mean you're a liar. But I'm saying the people who are liars, that's something totally different. Who lie all the time. They just be telling falsehoods. For whatever reason, they do it. You just understand they liars. Or they stretch the truth. The kind of person that fish this big, the fish this big. You know what I'm saying? They stretch the truth. You know what I'm saying? They smelt the dude breath stunk one time out of 300 days, and then he got stinky breath. You know what I'm saying? And they getting in his face, checking to see if his breath smells. Hey, blow your breath in my face. See if it stank this morning. Like, they doing a breath test on him every single day. They smelled it 2 days out of 350. And the narrative is that his breath stank. I mean, people, whatever reason, I don't have the same objectives and goals they do in life. You got to understand that. I know you ain't got no empathy. That's why you acting the way you are. But I'm saying I don't have the same goals and objectives you do in life. If I was 70 years old and I was like on my deathbed almost, then I'm saying like, if that's the way you want to end your life, then that to me, that's just a sad existence. That puts a cap on your existence. 70 years old on my deathbed almost, and I'm trying to prove something that don't have no substance. And I'm spending a lot of time doing it. You could cosplay like you helping somebody, but it's like what you spend, that ain't gonna fly with God. He gonna want to know your time and your life, because there's people out there you really could be helping, and you over here talking about somebody breath smelling like baloney. I'm saying, listen, I'm gonna tell a girl, hey, his breath smell like, I ain't gotta prove nothing. His breath smell like baloney. If she walk up to him and smell his breath, she can't smell it. So she around him 20 times. She ain't never smelled this breath smell like baloney. She thinking, and every time you come tell her, she might laugh with you, but she done already categorize you for what you are. She know you a liar. The people outside of your family and friends, the people know you lying. They might not consider it a lie, but they know you stretching the truth to a bare minimum. They know you stretching the truth to a bare minimum. I'm saying I ain't got time for that. I ain't got no time for that. You might want to spend your life what you call helping people, but it can't be one person that you helping with your whole life. You spending your whole life helping one person. Come on, man. I just don't have the time for it, y'all. I'm trying, but I just don't. Oh, you said my prop is a joke. Oh, man, you welcome, bro. You welcome. Everybody needs some laughter in their life sometimes, man. Everybody does, right? He said King David did pretend to be mad. I don't know. What you mean about that, Angus? What you mean? At what point in time? You said pretended to be crazy, bro. Ain't nobody pretending. I'm not pretending about nothing that I do. I'm not a pretender. No one's gonna buy that what you saying. I'm saying people, you telling stories that no one's gonna buy. Listen, if the propaganda in Iran, America is totally dominating the war and they're not paying no prices or consequences, but you're really spending over $1 billion a day. In reality, over 140 Americans have been injured. In reality, you see what I'm saying? We're not in Iran, so they could tell us almost anything that's going on over there. Just like the Russians could be telling their people that they stomping Ukraine. Or just like the Iranians could tell their people they win in the war. It's hard to tell. It's kind of hard to tell that lie. They're going to see all them bombs dropping and all that destruction. But they could tell the people they win in the war. It's propaganda. That's what I'm saying. It's propaganda. I'm saying I'm not into no propaganda. I'm going to be real with you. I told y'all I have a true real life disability. I'm 45. The disability that I have was first diagnosed in 2012. So I'm saying from 2012 to 2026, almost 14 years, almost 60 doctors. I went back to work and worked over 15 to 20 jobs. What are we talking about? I'm saying it ain't it's facts. Like the problems I have, the people that really know me, they've seen it in me. Like there's times where I get thoughts. I have thoughts that are not completely accurate. Everyone does. It's you don't understand the disability though. And I'm just saying it in a way like that. I have thoughts that just come out the blue that are just all the way off. That's why I could get those thoughts out the blue and tell you more than 2 million people. It's a gift and a curse, like the Rain Man. That part of my brain that and on the other side of the brain that it works like, I'm telling you, that's factual. I'm saying, bro, I got so many doctors, the Social Security Administration can't beat me. Not in the open court. They can't beat the record. You got to beat the record. Okay, you went to a doctor. First of all, you ain't going to be fooling Social Security Administration. Them doctors they send into you to diagnose you, you're not going to be fooling them. I'm telling you. Because they're going to deny your claim before they approve it. I'm saying if you apply for Social Security 2 times, according to the statistics, at least 2 times it had been denied. At least twice. I'm saying like I did in 2012 and in 2023. 2 separate times. If you apply for it, you do the appeal, you probably will win it, or you might win. Your chances of winning go higher the more you. But I'm saying both times I applied, I got it first time, both times. And I'm talking about I got a doctor in Louisiana, I got a doctor in Florida, I got a doctor in Mississippi, I got 3 doctors in Texas. I got a doctor in, you want me to keep going? A doctor in Colorado that's going to stand 10 behind what I'm saying. How you going to beat that? I got 27 years of work history. Where's the pretending at? The only person pretending is you. I'm saying the person talking about somebody knows big, you pretending. You see what I'm saying? How am I pretending? Ain't nothing I do is pretend. Talking about going to the gym and ain't going to the gym. Like all these different words I hear people say, it's a fantasy land. It's all pretend. Ain't nothing I'm saying or doing is a pretend. Everything I'm saying or doing, I'm sincere and authentic. That's who I am. That's my personality. What I'm pretending about. So why would I pretend about something like that? That's crazy. That's completely ludicrous. Because if I didn't have the disability, you wouldn't beat me at nothing. You playing a game with me while I'm at the job. The only way you could get the advantage over me is because I have the disability. That's it. That's it. And you still didn't get the advantage because every single job in the end that fired me, I got paid. I worked at a restaurant. I'm talking about like a Waffle House type restaurant for 27 days. The last 2 weeks, I didn't even work 40 hours a week. The most overtime I worked in a week was 43 hours a week. I made $15 an hour as a cook, and as a server, I brought home about $90 to $110 home a day. Bro, I worked 27 days and made over $10,000 over in my pocket. In my pocket. And all the money I paid in taxes, I got a refund. Yeah, for less than 27 days and made $10,000. Yeah, so all they were doing to me, I still want it. But I'm saying I'm not going to, if in 27 years, over 50 jobs, the U.S. Army, Applebee's, and Denny's. Those are the only 3 jobs that I worked for more than a year in 27 years. So I'm saying, like, I'm pretending. Look, so when I was 16 years old and I worked at the first job that I ever worked in, and I got fired in like 3 months or whatever because I called the dude a fag, or excuse me, gay or whatever like that, I guess I was pretending. And then when I was 17, 18 years old and I was working at Kmart and I couldn't get along with I was pretending. And I went in the Army, and how that fell out with me in the Army, at 19, I'm pretending. What you saying don't make no sense. I'm saying all you gonna do, like it's end up paying me. Oh, you gonna make me rich. God is going to use that hatred and opposition for me for no reason. He's gonna use that to bless me. Can't even see it. You blinded. Just like they looked at King David going up against Goliath and they laughed at him. You could laugh at me and saying, I'm chasing the drum. I don't care what you say. Your words is irrelevant. You walk around talk about people like they got stinky breath. That's your conversation. You walk around trying to convince people that they got this other person got stinky breath. That's what your life is about. Why would I listen to someone like that, man? Come on. Well, you know how deep I am. I'm talking to the people who talk deep, who think deep. People who trying to solve world problems. People who trying to win appeals in the U.S. Court of Appeals. Those are the people I want to talk to. When I turn the cameras on, what I'm talking about? I'm gossiping. How many meth heads do you have in this community? How many people who do fentanyl? Because I know I've seen some dudes at the gas station, they drive around drunk. How many drunk drivers do you have in this community? You see what I'm saying? That has, even the stuff that I say that's kind of messy, it's still got substance in it. You could do something with what I say to help someone in their lives or in your own life or my life. It's got substance to it. I'm saying, you saying somebody got, I don't care if that dude got a ball of wax in his ears. I see the wax, I snicker to myself. If I'm with the homies, I might say something. We keeping it pushing. We got some girls to go get. We got a party to throw. You know what I'm saying? When I was 16 years old, I had a song in rotation on the radio. They didn't just play it on the radio. It was in rotation, just like Puff Daddy songs would. And it was about the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Loving that song. Tabari, 94.5, he called me the king. Like, you know how they call that to T.I.? Well, in my community, Tabari on 94.5, that's over 1 million listeners. That is the rap and hip hop for Mississippi Gulf Coast. Well, Tabari, he's still there. He's still on the station, and he see me tomorrow. He'll call me the king from one song I made in 1996 called The Coast. You say, Ghost, why you tell us that? I'm telling you that to try to get you to understand or see something, bro. Even when I was 20, 22, 25, 26 years old, I was having shows at the Civic Center in my city in front of the whole community. Even when I was doing nothing, it had substance. It was substance in my nothingness. I'm saying, yeah, this dude hood, but we'll crack and we'll tell the joke, but we got stuff to do. We're going to keep it pushing. That's how I'm going to be today. I ain't got time for that, bro. I ain't got time to be trying to convince somebody about something that I don't care nothing about. I don't care about him, bro. I don't care if that dude had 2 boogers permanently on the tip ends of his nose. Every time I see him, I'm going to laugh and do the same thing you do. But when I leave there, I'm really not going to be on that. I'm just not that petty. If I was a millionaire and I didn't have nothing else to do, I'm going to create something to do. Oh, y'all got the homeless task force, so we're going to go out there and we're going to cure all the homelessness in America. That's Ghost as a millionaire. I'm not going to be spending my time I'm not that. My mind don't work like that. I would be miserable. It would be funny to me like the first 6 times I told it or tried it. After that, I don't think I could even work a job like that. I just get bored. I get bored and tired with stuff, bro. That's just the breast thing. Okay, everybody, you done told everybody is breast thing. Ain't nobody care. Half the people gonna forget what you said within 2 weeks. You got to keep telling the story, and when you keep telling the story, still in all those because they're not attached to it like you are. You got to see that. Then you worried about you proving that this dude breast thing. I'm saying the people that you telling it to, they don't. Just like Russia and Ukraine, they don't care. Just like us fighting in Iran. That's us fighting in the ring. You go tell the average person there, they got an opinion. And the people that you telling this to, these young people, like 20-something, 30-something, them people don't care. Go talk to them about it. They don't need, so half of them might not even know we fighting a war now. They absent-minded, man. It's no substance to it. It's not gonna last. I don't dwell in those places, man. I just dwell in different places. In my mind and in my actions. That's all I'm saying. I just dwell mentally. Mentally, I just do it different. I'm just in a different place. Oh, Angus, I see that. You said 2 times ghost even with all the documents. Unbelievable. Yeah, man. 2 times. You know what I'm saying? That's why people tell me to go back to work. I did that in 2011, 2012. It didn't work. That don't make no sense. I'm 45 now. Listen, I first was diagnosed in 2012 with my disorder. Okay? I rehabilitated by 2014. I went back to work. 2023, I relapsed. The disorder took over again. I can't work. Why would I go back to work? That's stupid. That don't make no sense. It's like a circle. And you want me to go in that circle, so for what? I'm not going in that circle. I'm going to stay right here. The people who believe I'll never go up, then hey, that's on you. You could believe what you want to believe. I could care less. I told my homeboy I got a $20,000 check. He told me I was a liar. He didn't believe me. Real talk. He'd never see me with $20,000 at one time. He didn't believe me. He gonna be shocked when I tell him about another one. 3 months before, I got $15,000 at one time. He gonna be shocked when I tell him about the 40 racks I'm finna get, or the 15 or the 20. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm just saying, it don't matter what no one say, what no one think. Ain't none of that stuff matter, man. I know we start getting older, we get immature and we lose focus. But I'm saying my mind is sharp. I'm on point. Like, what you telling people, they don't even care. They don't care. Think about that. You telling somebody something that you care passionately about and they do not care. You got to pay them to care. You know, let me take that back. You got to pay them to act like they care. You know what I'm saying? That's just facts. Jerry says AOC is the best that they got. I mean, when you say a best, that's what is that? Objective? You know what I'm saying? That's an opinionated question. If you say the best, in what way? Is she the best chance that they have to win the election? I'll say yes, definitely. 10,000, 20,000%. 30,000, 40,000, 50,000%. The best chance that they had to win the election was with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Oh yeah, NTZ clause. I know trolls are gonna be trolls. Like that, I don't try to stop them from. You know what I'm saying? They could troll and laugh and joke. I'm just saying, like, I can't go there with you. I'm saying if you living in that place, it's gonna make me miserable to live in that place. Even if you ain't talking about me, even if you talking about, you could be talking about my brother. And you talking about him every single day. You can ask the people that know me. I'm going to make a comment about that. At least to my mama, to my girl. You know what I'm saying? If I had one at the time, to my homeboy, I'm going to make a comment about that. Every time I talk, this dude always talking about that's the kind of person I am. So I'm wondering, why you always talking about him? You messy. That's in my mind. That's how I'm gonna be thinking. Oh, he said he's just doing that because they trying to help him be a better person. But to me, that don't make no sense. You messy, bro. That's the kind of person I am. I guess that's why they be getting at me all the time. Cause I ain't gonna go with the group. I'm not trying to fit in. I'm gonna speak the truth, man. That's messy stuff. People look for excuses or reasons, programs to be ugly or play the villain or the bad guy because that's who they really are. That's what make them happy. And instead of being like Lil Durk or King Von or Bonnie and Clyde and just being real to who they are, you know, they got to cosplay like they're a good person. You know what I'm saying? But really, they just a messy, whatever they doing in the dark, that's what they are. I'm going to do the same thing I'm going to do when the lights off. I'm going to do the same thing with the lights on. Ask your girl. No, let me stop. But I'm just being real. That's goals. You ask my mama. What I say behind the preacher back, I'll tell him to her face. I'll call his phone. Ask him. Ready to tell him exactly what's on my mind. He ain't gonna answer the phone. That's who Ghost is. Like some people, they'll just be sitting there talking about the preacher behind his back. They'll never, he'll have to come ask them what he's saying. They still sitting there lying. See, that's why they'll love me and respect me, because I'm going to be real with you, how I really feel. I'm going to tell you how I feel. You might not have done nothing against me, but if you ask me in the right way, I'm going to tell you, I don't care. You could be my best friend. I could love you. That's why with girls, I had to learn just to be quiet and stay in the cut. Let them say or do whatever they want to almost. My girl, I just to tell her the stuff she can't, because I got a disability, so I got to tell her the certain stuff, and she ain't going to do that stuff. But like as far as that complaining and that and talking about me and all that every other person does, I just ignore all that. I got to with the problems I have. You know what I'm saying? I caught a girl like I didn't even know. I knew, you know what I'm saying, that I took her from a dude. But I thought I had her like in the hood. I thought I had her in the hood. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying like I'm at work one day, finna go into work, bro, feeling good. And I see girl car pull up. She had a distinct kind of car. Her car pull up and a dude was driving her car. What? So they had went in this the hibachi place around the corner. So I go walk around the corner and I go in the hibachi place and I'm looking everywhere. I can't see them nowhere. I don't find them nowhere in the hibachi place. You know what I'm saying? And then right when I was finna go out, I looked to the right and I had seen her. And her and the dude looked up at the same time. The dude looked up, he looked at me like he didn't even notice me. He don't know me. But she looked up and she looked at me like she seen a ghost. And I just walked straight out the door. I don't know who that is. Is that the ex-boyfriend? Is still the current boyfriend? Or that's a new dude, different dude? And you got to think like this, I'm whatever with this girl. You see what I'm saying? So I care, because I'm saying you bringing that stuff back to me. Whatever you doing right there in that situation, you going to bring it back to me in my bed. So I ain't say one word to it. I put this on. I done told this story to all kind of people. I shot myself. That's how I behave with the girls. That if it's like that with me, I ain't even gonna talk or converse. I ain't no arguing, fussing, and cussing. Nothing. I'ma just do what I do, make my move, and go my way. Point blank. That's how I get down with it. Real talk. Guys, it's been about 3 hours. Somebody said AOC versus Rubio. I don't know the polls, AOC versus Rubio, but I seen AOC versus JD and AOC won by a couple of points. You know, those are early polls. You know, don't take too much in. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even past the midterms yet. We got to get past the midterms before we could get to a presidential election. Y'all, that's my time, man. NTZ Claus, man. Hey, y'all, I'm a Christian, man. I believe Jesus suffered, bled, and died on the cross for my sins. The blood Jesus shed, it washes away my sins. That's why I don't live the way that I used to live, because I became a Christian. David said the Republican Party is done. I don't know what y'all think. Angus, what y'all think about that? Y'all think the Republican Party is done, NTZ Claus? I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they not. I know every problem the Republican Party been in, they overcame it. Every party, the Democratic, they overcame it. Two-party system has been like that for 250 years. So, well, not actually for 250 years, but, you know, longer than me and you been alive, longer than my parents. It was Democrats and Republicans. So I'm saying, like, I don't see it changing. The Republican Democrats, we thought they were dead. They got stomped on. And look at them now. They on fire. And so the Republicans, they probably finna get shellackled. That's just how it always goes. Just American politics. I tried to talk President Trump and tell him about the midterms. He been knowing about the midterms since last February or March. And we still talk about the midterm. Al Green was talking about impeaching him last summer. Talking about the midterms. He still make the moves he makes, so he don't care that much, obviously. Or he think he could rebound from it. Who knows? I don't know what's on his mind. All I'm trying to tell y'all is, yeah, I could control how I react. I don't care what others do. That's what you're saying. You don't get it. I don't care about it. It's all irrelevant. All of it is irrelevant. But whatever my disability is, if I can't control how I react as far as my disability, but the parts that I can control, I really do not care. Bro, I'm 45. Anything you saying or doing to me, I done seen it 1,000. With some of these people, I could tell them what they're going to do or say. I done seen it 1 trillion times. I done seen almost everything there is to see at 45 years old, bro. I'm saying, what can you tell me or do to me that I ain't seen it before, bro? I'm not 25. When I was 25, you could play me. You could manipulate me. You could whatever you wanted to. I'm not 25. I'm 45 years old. I done seen it all, bro. You got to understand that, man. I done seen everything you could show me. You feel me? Y'all gonna hate on me, man, because I got them couple of little on my shirt, but I don't care. This how real I am, though. Authentic. You see me in this car, huh? You know what I'm saying? Put the shirt on like this on the live stream, the old Tesla shirt too that they told me not to wear, boy. I'll pull up just like this in this BMW right now, snatch your girl from you. NTZ Claus, tell him. You ain't never met no dude like me before, bro, on the live stream. You feel me? I wouldn't come in here like this. If it was 1,000 people, of course, but at the end like this, bro, all the way real, bro, on the live stream. I'll pull up just like this, fat boy. Oh, bro, I'm talking about I'll be dressed like a straight bum. I don't care if I was no BMW, no 10-year-old BMW. You see what I'm saying? For the little, that it means something too, but I'm saying, like, it don't matter. It's this right here. Your girl be in a Range Rover, boy, and I'll be walking and I'll fat boy, you ain't seen it before. Fat boy, you ain't seen it before. Bro, I had 21 years old, bro. I'm like 36, just as fat, the same thing. It's just I was trying at this time. And I'm talking about baby girl was getting flown on a plane. This how much money dude, private planes he was taking her on trips on. And as soon as she touched back, that plane landed at that airport. The first person she was on the phone with, number one. As soon as that plane touched down from dude, the first person she was on the phone with, I'm on the way. Soon as she get back home, every single time. These real stories. I just don't live. I ain't trying. That's what I'm telling you. I don't care, bro. You can't tell. It don't matter what nobody think, bro. That's why I do this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to just be real with you. What's under the hood? You feel me? Hey, you ain't going to meet nobody like me, man. You ain't going to meet nobody real like this. You're not going to. Real talk, bro. I embarrass myself. Somebody said something, they said I was crazy and I embraced it. Yeah, that's how you think, that you living in fantasy land. Go ask my mama about my thought process sometime. Ask my daddy. Ask the people who have lived with me and been around me, and they know for a fact the truth. I know you gonna tell me that if that's the case, then why don't you tell me the other stuff you trying to tell me and I'll listen to? No, I ain't nobody play or pretend. That's been fact since 2012. In 2012, my mama told me I should have never got off Social Security. That's my mama. Who know me better than her? She birthed me and raised me. And I stayed with her after I was 21. So my mama knows me better. And she told me I shouldn't get out. Because her, at that time, she like 45. No, she probably in her 50s. And I'm in my 30s. And at that time, when I'm going to get off Social Security, she knew that I was going to end up back on Social Security because I had the problems that caused me to get on Social Security in the first place. So today, when you tell me to go to work, I got a business, a Miller Legal. I'm already on top of it. I go to school. You see what I'm saying? But you talking about punching the clock again? That I did that 10 years ago. You could say it to, that's what I'm saying. They think if they keep repeating something that it do come true with some people in some people's mind, but not in mine. It don't work like that with me. You keep on repeating something with me, I could care less, bro. I'm 10 toes. I'll be 10 toes on what I say. I'm 10 toes. 30 toes, and I ain't moving and shaking on nothing I'm saying. It's all gonna stand right where it's at, because I believe in what I'm saying. Juju, if you believe that, if that's what you believe, Juju, that's your opinion. Everybody entitled to your opinion, my dog. I appreciate you sharing your opinion too, Juju. If you believe she'll ruin us, they said that about Obama. They said that about President Trump. With President Trump, did he ruin us? Some people say he ruining us right now, depending on where you at on the political spectrum. Depending on where you at on the political spectrum, some people say that right now about President Trump. Real talk. Bruh, you think I'm 40-something and I still talk about women? Bro, I know dudes 40-something still knocking them off. I know dudes 60-something that's still cheating on their wife. He's 60 years old. He got a woman at the house. He a VP at a company, a Fortune 500 company. I'm sure his wife would drop it off for him anytime he want to. And he out there getting strange, probably going home striking his wife too, and he's 60. You know, some men, they cheat on their wife because, you know, they say she ain't being romantically involved with them. I'm talking about some of these dudes, they were dogs when they 16, they dogs when they 25, they dogs when they 45, and they dogs when they 60. You talking about I'm talking about, girls. How many I'm sleeping with? That's what I'm saying. Ain't no substance in what you saying. You talking about talking about girls. How many I'm sleeping with? I talk about a lot of things. I could talk about poison ivy. I'm not playing with it, though. What you talking about? David, that's your opinion. Ain't nobody care. That's your opinion. You got to realize that your opinion is irrelevant. It's only relevant to you. Your wife halfway don't care. She care, but she be ignoring you half the time when you talk. Your kids halfway don't care. You pay them, they'll care. Or they'll act like they care around you. So you talking about your family halfway caring. These people at Walmart, these people out here, they don't care about what you talking about. I'm going to just be real with you. Ain't nobody else going to keep it real with you. I'm going to keep it real with you. They don't care about what you're talking about, bro. You could tell everybody in this city about me. And when they see me, if they can identify me like with this BMW or something with my car, but if they don't identify me with my car and they don't know me, you could tell everybody in this city about me. You might have 3% of them gonna remember tomorrow. They don't care, bro. They got other stuff going on. They live in their own lives. The only person who cares is the one who trolls. You get in the live stream or the chat, you could crack some jokey jokes and have people laughing. But I'm saying the actual application of what you're saying, it's no substance in it. It's irrelevant. Irrelevant things are going to be irrelevant. They're going to be what they are, irrelevant. Because it's coming out your mouth right now today, and because you got 30 people laughing with you today, you thinking it's relevant. But just give it some time, and the irrelevancy of what you're saying will be revealed. People not going to, that's why people, you got to keep paying people to listen to you. I ain't paying nobody, and they going to listen. Whether they want to or not, they going to listen. If you paying them and they listening to you, what you pay them, in the end, they going to be listening to me. And I ain't going to pay them nothing. Because what I'm talking about is just hold more weight than what you talking about. That's all it is. If we go to the court, what you saying and what I'm saying going to hold more weight than what you saying. You think your position means something. You think your authority means something. You think your power means something. Ain't none of that means something. Ain't none of that mean nothing. The truth means a whole lot, though. And my words is grounded in truth, and it carry more weight than what you saying. You over here talking about somebody breath stink. You over here digging through people dirty underwear drawers, looking what you can find in their underwear drawers. Come on, man. Ain't nobody care about that but you. I could just be real with you. You could go up to them and tell them that your mama died, something important. Who you think care about? That's something that has a lot of substance that they can identify with. Everybody got a mama. Everybody don't want to experience that in their lifetime, or if you outlive your parents, you gonna experience it. Everybody can identify with that. But you could tell them your mama died. They might sit there and hold your shoulder while you cry. Go home, tell his wife, and by the next morning, they don't even remember what you're talking about. They don't even remember you. You know that's how life is, man. But I'm saying if you out there telling a joke or doing whatever, you going to think it's important. You thinking it's relevant. But it's irrelevant to everybody else. To the people you telling the joke to, they don't care. They laughing with you. We be laughing, homie, but this stuff is serious. They'll laugh with you. But I'm saying, well, you got to say something with some substance, man. You know what I'm saying? He says the truth means a lot. The truth does mean a lot. Who cares though about? I mean, it's what you're talking about. To where I know this, bro. I'm trying to tell you, I deal in this kind of stuff. You see how many people in this live stream? It's what we talking about. I'm saying YouTube, they halfway promoting what we talking about. But you talk about something that is a popular topic, then they promote that everywhere. You feel me? With the stains on the shirt, boy, the deodorant stains on the shirt. Y'all think those were honey bun stains. Honey bun stains, deodorant stains. Yeah, I'm real, boy. This what real look like. This what authentic look like. You know how you look in the morning and you ugly and your breath stink? I'm saying I come on a live stream like that. You see me who I really am. You know, girl, you would never see them with makeup off until you marry. And then in the bed without no makeup in her hair, with her wig off, she look like Freddy Krueger. And you start regretting you married her. Oh, you didn't know that's how women got down? See, but a dude like me, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm used to seeing them white girls no makeup. Baby girl, she all the next morning, oh, baby, don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? I know how you look when you pretty. And without your makeup on, I ain't really here to look at your face anyway. To be real, so don't worry about that. Ain't nobody worried. That's the least of your concern, your makeup. You ain't got to worry about it. And I hate I told her that because the girl I'm talking about, she around me looking like Freddy Krueger all the time with no makeup on. And I love her the same way. It don't matter. That don't matter. Nah, for real. That's what I'm saying. I think the same thing you do in my mind. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm talking about this back when I was wild. Like I go off on girls and stuff. I'm talking about my 20s. I'm thinking the same thing in my mind as you are about, like, she funny looking without her makeup on. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna never say it to her. That's stupid. I ain't gonna never say it to nobody else. This one I would jank on you. I would tell you. I still ain't gonna do it though, because I'm saying to me, it's just irrelevant. It don't matter. Nah, she try to make me mad or something. If she talking about, or if I gotta talk about her or something, that's strategy. I'm doing that for a purpose. But I'm saying me just saying like, like me trying to prove a point about you or control you, bro. I don't care that much about what you do. You could do what you. I don't care about. My mind don't work like that. You gotta understand that. Maybe that's why I can't be friends or I can't get along with a lot of these people, because our minds don't work the same. I don't care what nobody do. I halfway the time don't care what I do. That's how I get in so much trouble. Have to make me pay attention and care what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? That might have something to do with my disabilities. It might be my personality. Just nonchalant. Long hair, don't care. Call me fat so. Donnie Brasco. I'm going to hit him with that Roscoe. You feel me? For real, I maybe that's how mama raised me. Just don't care about it. Just, bro, flip-flops on, long toenails, you know what I'm saying? Eyes red as a firecracker on the beach looking for a jet ski. Don't care. I'm saying, think about the importance of your words. Just completely irrelevant. Van Ring. What's up, Van Ring? Y'all, I need to change this shirt, though. You feel me? I can't go in public like this, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Got the stains on the shirt, you know what I'm saying? Oh, nothing, man. I'm just cooling, man. Just chilling. Everything is woke now. If you want to say it is, you say stay real, bro. I've been real my whole life. I can't be fake. I try to be fake. I can't be fake. I'm serious. I try. If I could be fake, then I could fit in better. A lot of things better. I just can't be fake. I got to be real. I'm going to just tell you what it is. You said AOC now. What happened to Jasmine? Go ask Jasmine what happened to her. I wasn't on Jasmine's campaign, but she'll be back though in 2028. She'll be running for something since she won't be flip mouth. But I never was on Jasmine's campaign. You talking about what happened to Jasmine? I never go ask her. Why you asking me? Well, I work for her. I try to work for her. Might have had different results. Might not have. But I ain't never worked for her, so why you asking me about Jasmine? I'm just doing the news, bruh. AOC running for president is news. What we talking about? Jasmine, look, what the reason y'all know the midterms is going on because that Texas Senate seat, that's news. I just went deeper into it than other people, but I'm saying it's news. What we talking about? Why I can't talk about it or cover it? Okay, if that's your opinion. Oh, you said I was on her. What? Oh, you talking about Jasmine, bro? Like that's the way you see it. That's the way you call it. That's your mentality. That's what I'm saying. No substance in what you're saying. No substance. I was speaking on what? On AOC? I mean, on Jasmine Crockett. What's that mean? It's a lot of people who were speaking on it. What's that mean? She had almost 1 million people who voted for her. I'm saying, what we talking about? I'm trying to figure out what we talking about. I'm looking for the substance. Yeah, she lost. I said she was going to get elected. I made 4 predictions. I won 3 of them. 3 out of 4 predictions, that's pretty good. And the hardest ones to make, I got the hardest ones right. Over 2 million people are going to vote. I ain't hear no one predict that. Over 800,000, the winner need over 800,000 votes. I ain't hear no one predict that. The Democrats were going to outvote the Republicans. No one predicted that. And Jasmine was going to win. So I got 3 out of 4 right. I got 3 out of 4 right. I'm saying, you saying stop. What I'm stopping? What you doing? I'm saying, what are you doing right now? You telling me to stop what I'm supposed to stop. I don't see how I need to stop anything. If anybody need to stop something, in my opinion, it's you. You said how you won that primary? I don't know. You asked them. I have no idea. I don't see how he won it either. We don't know. I mean, he might not have won it. They might have cheated. It's funny how I got the other 3 predictions right, and the easiest one, I got that one wrong. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? I don't know. You don't know either. All we got to do is go with what they tell us and keep it pushing. So what they told us is he won, and so he won, and we're going to keep it pushing. I'm trying to figure out, they told us he won, so we gonna listen to he won, and we gonna keep it pushing. Man, y'all, that's my time, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been on here this whole time, man, with y'all 3.5 hours count. We didn't get no donations, man. I don't know what's going on, man. YouTube must be freezing me out or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't see my people in here, my channel members. I don't see none of my peoples in here. You know what I'm saying? But guys, that's our time though, man. 3.5 hours, man. I've been streaming, man. Like, I appreciate y'all showing up and stopping in. Like, guys, I tell you all the time, man, I'm a Christian. I believe Jesus suffered, he bled, and he died on the cross for my sins. I believe the blood that Jesus shed is the payment for my sins, man. That's non-debatable. Standing 10 toes down on that. Everything I believe across the board. I stand all 10 on everything I believe in any arena. And I believe Christ is king, man. I believe there's no other name under heaven given amongst men whereby we must be saved. If you start talking about the afterlife, if you start talking about Christianity, becoming a Christian and going to heaven, there's no other way but Jesus. He's the only way. That's what I believe. Point blank, period. All nonsense aside, man, my mind, like, I just be in serious places with serious thoughts most of the time. I'm saying I spend a lot of time by myself. That's probably why. But I love having fun, and I love cracking jokes. You can ask my family members I communicate with. I do that all the time. I be cracking jokey jokes and having fun. But, like, I'm a very serious-minded person, and everything I told you is the real. You know what I'm saying? That being said, I spent 3 hours and 30 minutes with you guys. We still got tomorrow's Friday, then we got Saturday, so we got 2 more days to go live. And I'll be live with you guys for 2 more days, man. And finna go out here and get to doing what I do, man. And that's upholding that law, man. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want me to work, I work every day. Where that folder at? It's not that thick. You see what I'm saying? Because I done got rid of some lawsuits this week. I amended one and I filed one this week. Yes, indeed. Y'all talking about the wrong thing. This one I'm talking about right here. I amended one. I filed one. I got another one to file. You know what I'm saying? I got another one to file right here. This kind of thing. The actual law, the lawsuit ain't in here. These are the pre-documents that you file with the lawsuit. That's why it's so thin. You know what I'm saying? I got another one to file right there. I'll probably hold that one for just a second because it's related to a similar case, and I want to see how that case turned out. But I'm currently working on one. I got one on the computer. I'm finna get that off like real soon. Like yesterday, tomorrow, the day after, really, really soon. I might have to file 2 instead of 1. Because I'm not going to be waiting around for no documents. I'm going to go ahead and pop off. Might end up filing 3 of them, depending. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and pop off. That's what I'm going to do. Period. And whatever, and I'm waiting. I expect the retaliation. I wait on the retaliation. And when the retaliation comes, I'm going to file some more. Man, I'm telling you, the reason I'm in this situation, I went 14 months without filing a lawsuit. That'll never happen again. Since July, I filed 6 of them, right? Tennessee and the one in College Station. Plus, I got 4 of them on the books. I filed 6 of them since July. Number 7 coming within a week. That's 7 of them. August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. I want to file at least 1 a month. So I'm right on target. Just a little bit behind, a little short. But I figure it'll pick up once I get into litigation in some of them other cases. But yeah, boy, I closed 2 of them. So I only got 4 of them right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm finna file a 5th one. You know? But yeah, 7 case, that you want me to work, that's my work. I've been on the live stream with y'all 3 hours and 40 minutes. I told y'all everything I need to tell y'all. Tomorrow, man, you know what I'm saying? What we going live tomorrow, y'all? 7:30 a.m. Eastern, man. I think what we talking about tomorrow? We talking about a Democrat who running in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. And who I think he got more votes than the Republicans. He had more votes at the end of the night. You know what I'm saying? Marjorie Taylor Greene's district, that's a 37-point President Trump district. So we're going to do domestic politics again tomorrow, one more time. You know what I'm saying? And then it's not about the Democrats tomorrow. It's just about how President Trump and them, they need to step it up. We're going to look at what the Democrats been doing since 2024. President Trump won that election. They've been moving. And then on Saturday, we're going to talk about the war again. Off on Sunday and on Monday, man, we calling for President Trump. It's about time to put an end to that, man. Next week, he need to put an end to it. You know what I'm saying? I think after next week, if he don't put an end to it, man, it's going to be what it's going to be, man. I love y'all, man. I'll see y'all in the morning, Lord's willing. Y'all be good, man. Stop talking about people all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because I could get on here and start roasting y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'll roast, bro. I'm a king roaster, bro. I'll roast you, man, but I ain't trying to be like that, man. You know what I'm saying? My mama told me not to be hurting people's feelings, man. Y'all, man, I'll see y'all in the morning.